He's got the mind to build a land. Every creature, spell, and grain of sand to Arabelle where life was grand. He brought the stone, now take a stand. Maps and dice, he lays it down. Are we enough to save the crown? A twist of fate, a roll of chance. In Feanor's domain do stories dance. Come join this world where magic flies through caverns dark and open skies. His crafted dreams for us to roam, an epic quest to save our home. He speaks with voices old and wise. Goblins roam and heroes rise. With every turn a new surprise, brought to us to fantasize. From dusty tomes and ancient lore to battles fierce and treasures more, you've got a place, an open door. Adventure calls you can't ignore. Join Feanor's world where magic flies through caverns dark and open skies. His crafted dreams for us to roam, an epic quest to save our home.
Well, welcome. My face should be coming here pretty soon. Well, welcome and welcome back, Mythlanders. We are session... Oh, I sometimes lose count. I think this is 26. Session 26 of Goblin Stone. Last session, when we were... we spent the time in the square with our heroes, new companions, and old, the survivors of the square, the guards that our companions, our heroes, rescued from one of the manors to the north, and all the townsfolk they rescued from the goblin cells brought back. It was a day of work and preparation. And throughout the day, a dwarven bard or storyteller, just so there's no confusion, the dwarven storyteller went to each of the heroes and collected a bit of the tale of what happened, at least from their perspective. Most of the heavy work and grunt work was taken out of your hands, and you all had time to oversee things, check in with people, connect some people back together, and get some, put bugs in different ears about different projects and work. As the evening fell, our hero, we could hear that there was still, the chanting of goblin hordes in other parts of the city. But the area right around the square, leading all the way up into the stone, was not suspiciously quiet, notably quiet, as our champions are starting to see the effects of some of their actions. Also in that, as evening fell, there was a feast. There was some discussion on whether the square was going to be capable of having a feast. It's a lot of food when food is at a premium. We'll put it, to put it mildly. But minds were put together, and a minor miracle was performed. It seems that a great feast was summoned in a ritual involving many people from the square, as well, led by X and by Millie. With the question of can the square afford a feast handled, the feast was continued. It wasn't so much a sit down everywhere together, but food was passed out and dispersed throughout the people, and folks gathered to hear the dwarven storyteller tell the story of our heroes and what they've done for the city and the square. During this, there was definitely some suspicious activity. The two gnomes of questionable morals that followed our heroes into the stone and back out, who Millie was already certain that these two would need to be kept busy so they didn't start finding or creating their own entertainment. They were found sort of speaking thieves' cant with a fellow named Uton, who you all don't know and you're sort of suspicious of, it seemed like, a halfling, and another halfling that you hadn't seen before. At least those of you familiar with the town recognize him as a minor son of a pretty successful merchant house. But no one really, not a noble or any a part of the leadership of the city. So those four were speaking in thieves' cant together. But then X also detected another set of messages going between your storytelling dwarf and this newcomer who, I believe Palin was the name that you got. At least Millie was somewhat familiar with him, but not personally. So as these two unknowns and two known troublemakers start to speak thieves' cant, speaking their silent hand speech and slang to each other, you all decided to intervene and get the four of them something to do. It seems that at least Palin and your druid or your dwarven storyteller were cooking up something. All that you all could discern before you were spotted and the dwarf stopped communicating in that way was Palin saying everything is ready, and the storyteller saying, we'll wait until they're asleep. So you don't know exactly what it was they were intending. I imagine it'd be hard to be suspicious of the dwarf. She's been around and has been very helpful and has suggested things that were definitely beneficial for the square, such as the feast itself and celebrating the heroes. You all could see that really impact the townsfolk and sort of solidify that feeling of a win that you all brought back to the square. But that's where we've left off. You all have sent the four troublemakers off to scout after the docks, hoping to find word of townsfolk there and or food and other resources and supplies. And that's where we left off. It's still, it's just now night, pretty much, like evening. The sun is set. You've just sent these halflings and gnomes off. You all are, still together and likely discussing your next moves. Let's see here. Did I leave anything out? Locator? Anything I failed to mention?
We also had some, at least X had a good time with the flame and activated some powers in these gloves that he was given.
That's right.
And we got that, and the progress on Lokag's weapon continues. Whatever this cool thing is that the Smith is building for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. That'll be a fun reveal. All right, Big Bright, anything else I left out or that you want to remind everybody of?
We mentioned that we're sending them on a run to the docks, right?
Yeah.
The troublemakers. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. Good.
Okay.
I think maybe Cliff will chuck his pistol or carefully, gently place his pistol in the fire and see what kind of magic may ensue.
Okay. Well, let's get to that once we sort of jump back into it then.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Noted.
It'll happen organically.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being warned, like, apprised of the plan, so I can think about it a little bit beforehand. Yeah. Well, Helena, did you, Pon, anything else that I left out from the recap?
Technically not present, so...
Oh, do you have any questions then, since you missed last session?
I guess we'll probably convene here at the end of the recap, but I guess I'm kind of just more curious in everybody's orientation, like what we want to do, and I'm thinking about how Helena feels. She's got some weird thoughts about those last few statements. About them coming while we're asleep.
Yeah, fair. Nick, how about
There
you?
was, just you want to say a little bit about what Cliff and Pon hung out a little bit and made fun of all the rich people for a while.
That's beautiful.
You had to like try to look nice. You know, it was a little bit of like, oh, I'm supposed to look nice for all these people, and we both kind of made fun of them, and then Cliff got kind of drunk. So just to give you some context,
I like it.
but he's a happy drunk. He's not like mean or anything.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we were having a good time. But then, yeah, this Bard is sketch. He's like making us all like, oh, you're so great. Oh, look at the wonderful things they did. And they're like saying how awesome we are. But Cliff's kind of immune to that, you know, pomp.
Yeah.
Helena, don't trust that, because
Right?
you're going to be that happy all the time. You clearly aren't living in the same
Yeah.
That's a very Helena thing to say. Living in a frickin' dream world. Things are bad. Like, what's wrong with you?
Winter is coming.
Word.
Okay, let's see here. Anything else left out? Anybody else want to remind us about anything or anything like that?
I'm sure there was some poor orphan that we haven't really thought about. You know, with all of this going on, some kid who just no one really thought about. Who's just, you know, sitting somewhere just trying not to be a problem for anyone else because, you know, it's so hard. So they don't want to be a nuisance. That poor kid. I don't know where he is, but I feel bad for him.
They're probably very helpful around, you know, around whomever's, you know, their parents' business or place. There are several kids in the square, much more than there usually are. Like when things are normal. In the before times. Would have been pretty unusual.
Life was easy.
In the before.
Yeah. Yeah, before the stone. And there will definitely be, if you all have anything to say about it, and after the stone.
BS. It'll BS. It'll be 5-year BS.
Before, yeah.
I have one question, DM.
Yeah, what's up?
There was a comment in passing, something about a type of plant that if you have it in your pocket, a hag can't lie to you.
Hagsbane.
Was that just flavor text, or is there legit something that we could look for before we have the conversation with the hag?
It's on the level of mythology. Like it's been like, you know, more than a dozen generations since anyone's dealt with a hag. So it's one of those things. It could be. Doesn't seem like a rumor exactly. But it's likely something you'd want to test. But there's a way to get some hagsbane or grow some.
Grow hags?
Hagsbane, it's an herb.
Oh.
Whoa. Helena's like, whoa, what are we doing now? We did. It was mentioned as something that's sort of in the lore of the world. You could make Arcana religion checks to see maybe what else you've heard about that. See if you can kind of confirm that or debunk that. You know.
I do have a question about lore regarding the Dwarven Bard. I get a sense that, you know, from Clifford also had a moment where he like kind of copped a feel, but like for detective work, you know, like it was okay. I hope it is. I don't want to get canceled, but but you can describe. I forget, Farrah, but like
it sounded just like a joke, like literally. I don't. It doesn't sound bad to me. That's why it made me laugh.
No, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
One arm was like solid, like it had like this was not a regular person. This person was like probably a lot more heroic.
I feel like your mic volume just dropped. Is that anybody else, or is that just me?
Did my mic drop?
Drop. A little bit.
Weird. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Like this? All right. I'm gonna hover over the microphone. Yeah, I was just saying that I got a sense of like what they felt like and what they were, and their body was like metal on one end, or you know, like solid, like not skin.
Yes.
something beyond like regular person.
Yeah, and it was not armor, because that has a certain sound to it when it rattles up against muscle and bone, and it did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this might come up as like maybe there's some lore about someone who had these qualities. So Clifford will be kind of going into magical realism, into mythology, trying to think. But he doesn't know. He has no affinity for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
That's another kind of thing that a check could be made on to see what you all come up with.
Yeah. But it's sort of in the same area. I'll roll his -1 history check. Just, you can play with it. Do with it as you wish.
Okay, yeah. A 5, yeah, all right. There's not a lot to do with that. You think about it, and then you take another drink, and the evening just moves on.
Version of it.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. All right, so we'll come right back into the moment here at the square. You guys are roughly gathered around Mildred's and the Traveler's Outfitter. And so, you all have just sent your 4 troublemakers off, and you guys have probably crept close to each other and are sort of starting to talk and share some information. What maybe Cliff is saying, hey, I brushed up against her, tried to see if I could find any hidden weapons, and like I found stuff that maybe could have been thieves' tools, and described her body was very strange, was abnormal.
Seemed to. He'll describe all that. But he'll probably do it maniacally in a way that makes you wonder if he's just freaking out.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't human, all right? It was strange. It didn't make any sense. It was... Turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger for a moment.
Anybody have any response to that? All kind of like, you've just sent these 4 off, and he starts just unloading about how suspicious he is of the dwarven Barajawith, the lady who's been collecting your story.
Really loudly. He's like, I'll tell you, all right, I have to whisper really loud.
Keep your wits about you. Gosh. All the rats, they scurry and they tell each other things. Having so much attention.
She's flailing her arms around.
Very nonchalant, says Millie. Is a fair point, though.
Clifford buries himself in his drink and he just goes, no one understands me.
Maybe we should take our discussions to the inn, says Millie.
To the inn.
Drink.
So, is everybody okay with that? Does anybody want to do something else? Does anybody not go to the inn and find you all have kind of the suites up on the top floor that you all have been sharing?
I think the only thing I wanted to do was throw his pistol in after seeing what effects this fire had. He wanted to bring his pistol and offer it as a, do your stuff. And at this point, he's like, all about getting all geared up. He's like, he wants all the guns and all the stuff.
Yeah, he's fired up for sure.
Ready to fight. So he's like a kid in a candy store. Like, he's gonna. It's all business, right? It's work. This is, he's a professional, so he needs the best stuff. So he's gonna go and get geared up as best he can before he goes to bed.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way up toward the smithy, and find young Bairden Bell. He's been pretty somber since he got back, though he is grateful to you all. But one of there's some folks who are just helping him shovel coal and move flats of metal and stuff like that around, work the bellows and things. They gesture to him, get his attention as you're moving up toward the And they're all, none of them, well, the forge isn't exactly cold. They're just not currently working on anything. It looks like they're letting the forge die down, at least for the evening. But yeah, the young dwarf sort of swings his heavy gaze up toward you.
Well, look, pardon, I don't mean to bother you, but look, I need a favor. I don't know, maybe you can figure something out here. And he'll pull out the pistol. Now this is a Kindle moot. All right, this is genuine. Just got it. I got it the day he died. All right, made this for me.
That is a beautiful piece of work.
But the only problem is I don't know how to use it. It's supposed to do all sorts of great stuff, but I don't know how to. Like, what does that mean?
Well,
And then he
if this is too much, if it's too much gun for you, I'd be happy to trade it for.
No, you will not. But it's really loud. It's really loud.
It actually gets a chuckle out of him.
He's like very like, this is my baby, you know, but he trusts him. He's a craftsperson. He puts it on the table on the velvet, and he'll let him look it over. But he's admitting, and he has a hard time doing this, that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This is too much for him. He thought it was really cool, but the guy died before he could give him the instructions and show him how to use the damn thing.
Right.
So he's hoping he can maybe unlock something, help him out. Just don't tell anybody, all right?
So he goes and finds a clean bit of cloth somewhere and dusts off his anvil and lays the cloth over it and gestures for you to lay the pistol down.
Yeah, he will.
He goes and he puts on some clean gloves as if he's, he doesn't want to mar it. And he approaches it. You can almost see the trepidation. Like he's never made anything this great, It's a really, really rare art form. Like some dwarves in other places know how to make firearms, but they're not something that's in Arabelle.
Yeah.
So his eyes are wide as he stares over it. But after about 10 minutes of just looking at it, he finally begins to sort of move it around and move some of the movable parts and look over some glyphs and sigils here and there. There's a small gem studded, a tiny circle with runes around it. And so just hidden all over it are the symbols of magic. After about 15 minutes, he says, well, it can do some things, but some of what it does, it needs the right ammunition.
Yeah.
But you'll see here and here. He starts. He's someone who's skilled can use these here to load it rather quickly. Again, you'd have to have the skill to do it, but it's built to do it if you have the skill. I've met, again, what I know is from books, and some of them old. I have some of them here.
What?
Some books.
Is it in Gnomish?
No. Maybe it was. Been translated.
It's best in the original Gnomish. I'm sure it's got to be.
That's what they say. It's what they say. But the solid old runes are best for me. But I'd like to hold on to it for an hour or two and read. You're welcome to stay with me. I understand if you don't want to leave it out of your sight, but I need to be able to look at it and compare with some of the sketches. And then I'd be able to tell you more.
I'll do that.
I think
I'll do that.
I should be able to make ammunition for it. My suspicion is elemental power. You might have an icy bullet, or a bullet that's charged with lightning.
I love it. Of course. That's perfect. I got this. He pulls out he got those 10 bullets from before, from the back that Phineas had left, and he'll bring those out and say, I got these too. I don't know. I figure they're regular bullets. I don't know. I just buy the stuff.
Okay, so as he starts to look over it, you're incredibly animated. We're gonna pull back for just a moment and welcome, Joe. Let me pull your image in real quick.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am tired. But good.
Well, good. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're good.
Yeah, we don't need more evil people in the party.
No, that's true.
Only good people.
Life is enough, you say. Yes, got it.
That's right. Where... Shuffling my screens about. All right. Let's see here. I did mention, since a couple of us weren't here toward the end of the session, pausing with you all sort of moving ahead and sort of looking back in time to when the bard was sort of literally singing your praises and verses to you, offered a moment if anybody wanted to get up and speak, to say anything to the townsfolk, to your allies or anybody else, to sort of, have a moment in front of everybody, sort of standing with the storyteller, Baradwin. Do you think Millie or Helena would have gotten up in front of the crowd and said anything?
Real temperament of the crowd.
Oh, man, you could feel a tension sort of bleeding out of people, but not their sort of alertness. There's been a general alertness to the group ever since everything happened, and the more things that happen, the more sort of high-strung the group is. But you can feel that relax somewhat, as much as you all, as much as it could in essentially what's a war zone. There's that sort of fierce and desperate merrymaking, sort of leaning into it super hard, but there's not any drinking going on or anything. Just sort of food, maybe a cup of mead, but not enough for anyone to really get drunk off of. So present, appreciative, receptive, I suppose. And they're also enjoying somewhat y'all's discomfort as each verse is saying to you. The people of the town are sort of, looking at you, pointing at you, will come up and slap you on the shoulder during a certain verse, trying to embarrass you or whatever, being
Helena?
Yeah, go ahead.
Helena would certainly be embarrassed by that, and I think in retaliation she would certainly have something to say. So she gets up there and she looks out at everybody and she says, I hope you all have learned something important today, or at least in the last however many days it's been now. And that is, you can't handle this chaos. You've all been sleeping. Look at you. None of you live in real lives. Fat pockets to protect you from reality. But look at those of us who rise in these moments of chaos. And now, who's thinking who? And I really suggest someone pull her off the stage.
Oh, Cliff is egging her on. Yeah, he is loving it. Oh, yeah. He's like, yeah!
All right, then.
What about...
So he gets, obviously.
I want to say Lokag picks up Helena by, the outside of her arms and just, takes her off the box and She can keep going.
And another thing,
Nice.
and another thing, I need a bag satchel full of cheese and bread for my minions. And this is not a request.
Meanwhile, Clifford's starting to get a chant started. What was it that was said when you were in the pub and you were sort of talking Helena into going, sort of maybe getting gussied up, smoothing her hair, whatever. Oh, yeah, I think the Rat Princess, maybe, or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
I forget now. I'll
Yeah.
have to look at the recording. But yeah, we were all ready for action. I was kind of taking you on to get out and party because you were like, I don't know, these people are jerks. I don't have anything to do with them. So there was a little bit of a goading there. But yeah. So yeah, you took the bait, and I'm glad you did.
So Lokag just kind of comes up behind Helena, picks her up,
Right?
moves her off to the side. Baradwin, is quick to kind of step forward, get a little bit louder, and sing a snippet of the refrain from the song she wrote about you all, and also takes up the call that Clifford starts. Then Baradwin sort of looks, and this is before you've seen anything suspicious from Baradwin. We've kind of rewinded a little bit. At this point, Baradwin looks over sort of desperately at Millie, hoping Millie's ready to sort of follow that act and cleanse the audience's palate, so to speak. So how does Millie react to this desperate look from the dwarven storyteller? And Helena's still sort of rattling stuff off as Lokag's setting her down behind him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rat Queen. That's what he called her, the Rat Queen.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was Rat Queen. Millie just nods at her and walks away. I don't trust this bard.
Okay. She covers a look of disappointment pretty well. And as that continues, at some point, that's when X and Millie and Clifford start noticing thieves' cant between the halflings and gnomes, and then between one of the halflings, the newcomer, Palin, and the storyteller, Baradwin, the druid. I mean, the dwarf. A different D word. So at this point, you all have sent her off. Clifford is moved up to the smithy, and you all are maybe moving toward the inn to go find maybe a more private place to talk. But let's go ahead and get into from here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to clear off initiative and we can re-roll it. Clifford, we had a little bit of time with you, so maybe we'll just kind of put you to the bottom of initiative, if that's cool.
That's cool with me.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. Go ahead and highlight those tokens and roll your initiative. And this is just for, storytelling, exploration, and RP.
RPDM.
Is that DM like Latin?
Yeah, I was thinking RPDM.
You got it.
Fuck that.
Nice. Got an initiative for X and for Millie, when you all get a moment.
Can't find my token.
Uh-oh. You're down here.
I don't know if mine's working.
Okay, yeah, they probably did some update. This is Jumpgate, and it's still in beta, so let me see if I can refresh some things. Yeah,
There I go.
I rolled one for you. What did you roll one? I haven't seen one pop up for you yet.
I have no idea. Because they work. My whole dice isn't working. Could that work?
Oh, yeah, I
That
see a
worked?
dagger
Okay.
attack.
Yeah, that work? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Perfect.
And all
Make
right.
sure to ship
Sad
it.
is I'm not like most paladins with a +0. I actually have a +2.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so starting back over with next in the order would be X. As the thought, to go back to the inn and talk in private gets tossed around. Or is X cool with that, or is there something else X want to do first?
X's intention is to not sleep in the inn. So I'll go back to the inn and talk with everybody. That would be great. Just have a little group gathering and kind of debrief. Sounds good. But when everybody else is like actually going to sleep, X is going to look for a perch and kind of like go outside and be away from the group. Because if something happens, respond to it
Right.
externally, so to speak. And then I only need 4 hours of meditation, so I can wake up like super early in the morning and watch for these rascally characters to come back if they come back early.
Gotcha.
To keep an eye on them.
Okay.
So that's my overall plan for the night. I'll meditate early, and then like at 2:00 in the morning, I'll start a watch. Otherwise, no, I think that's it. We had the feast. We had, it's evening time. So as far as I'm concerned, go back to the hotel or inn and gather up and talk.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody else not head to the inn? Just looking at the next initiatives. Locag, in chat. Is that cool with you, or is there something else you wanted to do?
Nope, Logag's headed to the inn. He's ready for some rest.
All right. Helena, how about you?
She's definitely heading to the inn, but she has something to do at the inn.
Okay. What's that?
Well, she's going to collect any spare remnants she can in a satchel, as she claimed earlier. She still needs that, so she can feed her horde of rats.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of scraps. And while everything is generally being saved for the next meal, leftovers and stuff, nobody... and the rest of you might even notice some, like, people almost saying something to Helena, but sort of swallowing it, biting their tongue, and just, nobody stops Helena from collecting scraps of food for the rats. But you can tell, a few people want to. They're like, well, that's food for everybody, but they just sort of acquiesce to the warriors, as it were.
They're heroes. Okay, the rats are heroes.
So people just sort of, a few confused nods, another just sort of throwing their hands up and, stepping back. A few others just sort of looking at you strangely, but shaking their head and moving on. What about Millie? Is there anything else Millie wanted to do before going to the inn to chat?
I believe Millie already went to the alchemists, right? I think I did that last session.
Yes. Yeah, you'd been to the alchemist and had gotten... Yeah, you got a pretty nice potion. Enough for each of you to drink, to boost an ability score by 1.
Oh, that's right.
And of course got updated on the new features of your apothecary now. They have an acolyte druid that can help them grow the gardens, a few people to help. You brought their nephew back. Yeah. You'll have some new potions will be available, and you should be able to start requesting herbs and potions and things from them. They'll still have to make it after you request it, but... So with this, sort of after that, so yeah, that was that was likely before, or definitely was before the feast and celebration and the singing.
We need to request a bandolier with like 20 healing potions for Lokag, just to
Yeah.
a big,
I'm alive.
like an ammunition bandolier.
So does each time he gets hit and takes damage, he also gets healed a little bit?
Only they worked
No.
like BG3. I think Millie will head towards the inn, but won't sleep for a while. She's just kind of cleaning out her pack. I have all these pouches of random stuff that we've found on the hobgoblins and goblins and stuff. So I don't know if there's any value to those or usefulness to those, but it's kind of a collection of everything from the beginning.
Just all of the pouches from that you cut off of goblins and hobgoblins and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
like 4 of them.
That's from like the initial attack on the square?
I think one's from the initial attack. I think one's from under the first time we went into the stone.
Ah, okay.
I don't know where the other one is from.
Okay, interesting. Well, as you sort through that stuff, you can make an investigation check, a survival check, or an arcane. Yeah, investigation or survival, I think.
We'll go survival. It's better than a +0.
Okay. So there's definitely some small vials that they could be potions of some sort. They could be poisons. It's hard to tell. It all looks like something you would not want to imbibe. You find what you think are rations, which is you pull out a sort of sticky ball of some sort. It's wrapped in rough cloth. As you sort of peel the cloth back from it, it looks like a ball of insects just crushed and pressed together with something sticky to hold it all together. You kind of peek through the rest, and you assume that it's all food of some sort. Though it's not food that you really want to probably offer to anybody in the square. You're not even sure that Helena would want to eat it.
Maybe the rats.
Good call.
I'll look at all this strange food and just kind of, Helena, I don't really know what rats eats besides, I guess we kind of ate everything too, but would they eat any of this? Hand off the insect ball and strange food.
Probably. Yeah, they're not very picky.
I know the feeling. Cliff, is he here?
He's here. Well, he's sort of not there yet, but he'll be there in like an hour.
I'll hold the vials until Cliff arrives and see what he makes of them.
What does it say on the label? That's
I don't know. It's all in Goblin.
Oh, he can read it. Yeah, that's good. He'll read it. Yeah, have him come back whenever you need him.
Okay, yeah. Well, when you do get to that, unfortunately, none of it is labeled. So, Clifford, you could make your own survival or investigation check for that.
Oh, my survival's not too bad. All right. I'll do.
They're all like those labels that people put
17,
when they
nice.
have their food in the refrigerator at work, where it says like Barry's cupcake.
Yeah, it's just just a
It's
date.
like, yeah. It says in Goblin, it's like Gribnack's snack for lunch.
Do not eat. Okay, let's see here. You think that the vials are, there's 3 of them. You think they are both a poison and an antivenom. You think that it's a pretty strong poison that could be used to put on weapons. Also, if you imbibed it, it'd probably also mess you up. But you think if you are poisoned by it, then mixing this same poison with another pouch that has herbs in it would create an antivenom.
Ah,
And it's
get it
it's like it's like, you know, it smells like and it smells and looks like a venom from like a giant spider, which is generally pretty potent venom.
Any particular kind of spider? Is it like an orb spider or a black widow or something more like an aboleth?
Like a wolf spider.
Wolf spider. Ah, yes. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is wolf spider. Don't eat it. Don't drink it. Don't
You
even
can
look
keep
at
it if you want it. I
Uh,
don't really have any use for it.
Sure. I mean, I'll hold on to it. Yeah, I'll dole it out. Maybe it'll be useful. This is sketchy stuff. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to handle this. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself out for a couple days. So, now don't even look at it.
It's yours.
All right, I'll hold on to him.
Okay.
I'll definitely hand him out if anyone wants one.
Put the stats there in roll 20.
All right, cool. I'll make an item or whatever.
Lokai, go take one.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Stuff, poison stuff.
I think with those items determined, Millie will just kind of sit at one of the tables and inwardly meditate, trying to reconnect with the flame, see what, if anything, there is guidance on where to go next within the stone.
Okay. Is there anywhere in particular you go to meditate?
Just at a table in the inn.
Okay. So people have, if you all are moving around and you're not focused on anything, people talk to you almost endlessly when you're crossing the square or just standing in one place. But the second you're focused on anything, people step out of your way. They don't bother you. So if you look like you're thinking or doing anything, people pretty quickly leave you to it. They don't want to break the spell of heroism on you, if such a thing were possible. They don't know that it's superstition or if it's just plain respect or deference. In any case, you meditate for a time. Your vision is drawn to, your mind is drawn to your memories of when you first entered the Tower of Ogma, when you rekindled the flame of Brigid. Even being down, but that's just the initial. So you think about that, and immediately the vision, you're just sort of brought back through your sort of journey through it, where you find yourself going down the stairs. You remember what you found on the second floor, the very strange and very, very dangerous goblins that you fought in there. And then the smashed and broken cases that each held a relic. You think of those powerful relics and how much they mean to the city, how they're holy things, how they've been taken by these invaders and are somehow being warped in a dark ritual that you heard the chanting of in the bottom of the stone toward the north. You all know that there's a dark shrine or temple to whatever god it is that they worship. You have suspected that that's the place where they're doing these rituals. But now you see it as if you're there. You see a goblin, now you know, as a hobgoblin. The skin is dark crimson. She has strange horn-like shapes growing out of her skull, though. And she's clad in black leather. There's plates of metal you can see bulge underneath the leather, suggesting there is armor, but it all looks incredibly sleek. The person exudes an aura of death and danger, but you don't see any weapons on them. There's another hobgoblin in dark reddish robes. They are bald. There are two bugbears in there as well. And you can see that the walls and the sort of northeast and northwest corners are covered in blood. And in the image, you can see piles of corpses in those corners, sacrifices in the ritual. You can see them you can see them pick, one of them picking up a staff, the staff of Ogma, off of the altar. The robed one, the bald hobgoblin that is, is robed. Some sort of wizard is being gifted the staff of Ogma. You see the sword of the nameless hero laid on the altar, and that ritual begin again. They are all look exhausted. Their sweat sort of pastes their hair to their face. They look drained, all of the people performing the ritual. And you sense that this ritual's been constant since they got the relics. They're trying to turn these things into useful tools as quickly as they can. And as you sort of come back to your body in the moment, you know that this was a true vision. This is currently happening right now. A wizard has just gotten a cursed version of the Staff of Ogma.
And coming out of the vision, she'll make her way to wherever X has positioned himself.
So he's likely currently
Conversation.
still upstairs with everybody as some discussions are starting to happen.
We're all gathered, and then I'll just ask.
All right, yeah. Soon, Clifford, you have the pistol back, and Berdenbell tells you that he can make ammunition. He needs to read up a little bit more, but he confirms that this thing, there's a certain way to make ammunition for it, that then the magic within the gun will activate that ammunition as it goes down the barrel and flies toward the target. He says it'll take some time and resources, and he'll start looking into what he needs. In general, though, he thinks he knows that gems will work. A blue gem for icy or watery magic, a red gem for fiery magic, and that sort of stuff.
Try to collect those things. I will leave him with one of the ammunition that he was left with, one of Phineas's, just so he has something to follow. Just make it like make it right, make it like he did, and then he'll give him one of the bullets as an example to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before he joins everyone else and talks about goblin poisons and such.
For the second time, you all leave this grieving dwarf with a face flushed with excitement. First from bringing him the flame itself, and now letting him study this masterwork, pistol, and a craft that's been lost to his people. Soon you all come back together. And maybe at this point is where, you kind of come in, maybe you're coming through the inn, just as Millie, she's sort of just walking up the stairs behind you, or ahead of you. You all come in together, and perhaps this is where Clifford starts talking again about the dwarf, the storyteller, that is, and describing that she had one very, impossibly firm arm, and the other was just a normal, stout dwarven lady, but not anything supernatural or alarming. But this was alarming.
Yeah.
And so he maybe, starts spouting off that conspiracy. So everyone can make a history, arcana, or religion check. I would allow nature or survival too, I think.
I rolled mine, so I've already established that I'm useless in this regard.
Fair, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's goblins. It's all goblin stuff. It's coming from the rocks. They're all coming from the rocks. All the magic. It's coming from the rocks.
I think you might need sleep, Cliff.
Plenty of time for sleep when I'm dead.
Nice, getting some solid rolls here. Millie with a 16 religion, history 16 from Locag, a 17 survival from Helena, Arcana 6 from X, and we had that 8 from Clifford. Okay, so, as this gets brought up, this sort of pricks Helena, Locag, and Millie's ears. It's like, okay, so they're not, it doesn't sound like a normal, some people are formed and when they're born, they're not symmetrical. It's like, it's not that. It's not what it's describing at all. There's a certain scent to her that smelled like one of the strange notes. And when you smell goblin blood, that soured milk sort of smell, she has part of that.
Like evil.
Yeah.
Like evil cows.
Yeah.
Evil cows. Never seen one.
So, as you all, think over different, things that could cause this. With this strange smell that the goblins have it. Definitely the more powerful goblins that they didn't have lips. They had like sharp teeth. They were the ones that you fought in the Tower of Ogma. They smelled very strongly of that same scent. Now, so magic, it is said, comes from the astral chaos beyond the world. And it's bits of that chaos leaking in. And different people learn to work it. The gods can shape it. So, of course, powerful clerics can shape the world using those sort of bits of magic that come in. This is sort of the myth, the legend of magic. There's some places where it's so concentrated, though, it will actually like sort of crystallize, or it'll be suffuse plants around it, and it'll become so full of it that stuff can be taken and used. And it's really, it's dangerous to do so, even harvesting it, but it's full of raw magical power. It can be used in spell work or the crafting of magical items by those who know what they're doing. But there's a handful of cautionary tales about apprentices that reached too far, too fast, and they got a hold of their sort of master's key into their supplies and stole some of their master's Fey Stone, or She Stone is also what it's called. And that's thought to be the crystallized essence of magic. It can be brewed into potions and make them very potent. It can also be eaten. It can be, a potion can be made of just it. And that can be imbibed, and it gives strange powers to the person who drinks it. But it also alters them in ways that are beneficial, but also detrimental. It might make their skin as hard as steel, but they can't feel anything anymore. They might be, immune to cold, but they'll overheat easily during the summer. So it has sort of like a monkey's paw effect when it's imbibed directly. Now, you all are sort of talking about this back and forth, and little bits of information are coming out, things that maybe some of you saw some crystallized at some point, and that's the survival check. You've seen some down in the sewers. You've seen rats that ate mushrooms that were growing near She Stone. And Helena, so you saw these rats mutate, become strong, but slow, or become really, really fast, but incredibly weak, and the nature of their bodies changed. After you all talk over for about 15 minutes, again, some of you are bringing up things that that you've read about, stuff through oral tradition in your training, but mostly just sort of myths, legends, and tales. But She Stone is a thing. X can confirm it. It's something you've worked with before in the past. It is incredibly potent, incredibly volatile, and there's a huge stricture for people, alchemists and stuff, experimenting with she stone. You always use it for something else. You never make a potion for anyone to just drink it, because there's too much of a cost. The person's sanity and soul can be lost, and they can become a powerful monster. It seems it's highly possible. It seems as if all of the people that have that strain sent to them have imbibed some potion of this phase stone. So that means that all of the goblins within the stone to some degree, but those really dangerous ones with no lips and the massive sharp teeth, have likely been sort of saturated with whatever this stuff is. And with that, you would suspect that Bradwin has imbibed some sort of potion of she stone. She's got the smell to her. She's an abnormally strong and tough left arm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So starting back through sort of toward the top of the order, Clifford, X, what are your thoughts as you all are sort of going back and forth, and this is the conclusion that you all reach?
So does that by definition an evil thing?
Not by definition. It's a very dangerous thing that's considered by educated to be never worth the cost. The evil association is just that it's desperate and it's a quick route to power. And it's the sort of cheap and easy method.
But it puts her pretty firmly in the camp of not friend.
It would seem so. Yeah. It's at the very least, she shares this property with your enemies. That she has imbibed this she stone as well. Now, she may not be one of them, but she's less scrupulous and more, at least at the very least, impatient to gain power. Which is not necessarily on its own a trustworthy thing, I would say. It's suspicious. It's like, but it doesn't automatically indicate she's your enemy or that she's evil, I guess.
Yeah, so X would be a fan of taking her prisoner, bringing her back somewhere private, confronting her, and if we don't like the answers, we just quietly take her off the board. I don't want to publicly reveal something and kind of trap her in public.
Fair.
So kind of the 6 a.m. bag over the head and take her somewhere and figure out what's going on, and if
she may come to us, right? She may try to kill us tonight, so we may have special delivery for all we know.
Well,
I don't think it would have been her as much as that other one.
Maybe.
Yeah, we feel like the plot's disrupted, so she may come up with a new plot,
right?
But X would be a fan of isolating her and trying to deal with it before, because I don't want to leave somebody like this wandering around the square with people that we want to keep safe.
Yeah.
If she's potentially gathering information, feeding it back to the enemy, undermining the stuff that we're trying to do, probably we make a barricade and then she makes a weak point in it or something like that. We don't need that kind of nonsense. So
yeah.
Who's the best grabber?
X would be up for a early AM kidnapping.
Okay. J Fink, you started to say something there?
I just said, who's the best grabber? X answered the question.
Oh, okay. And Cliff, you started to say something too?
She may be in league with the other spy, the one who seems whose voice we heard that we didn't actually see, who went off to this house. So there could be a connection between those two. For all we know, they may be affiliated. She's clearly a spy. Yeah. So,
and suspiciously, Palin, the newcome halfling, you all never heard him speak. You never heard him say a word.
So Palin's a creep.
You don't know what his voice sounds like. He could be the same person. But he seemed to stay out of the conversation.
He spoke to Millie.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah, because Millie could read the thieves' cant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, could see their thieves can't. He spoke verbally to you? I guess I missed that last session. Okay. Well then,
Dex directly asked him, like, who is your family? He said he was from a wealthy family in town.
okay. Then everybody can make insight checks. Because the voice, it was not immediately recognizable. But you all did get the sense that he was putting something on. Nice. Millie and X. You're not 100% certain, but you know that they were putting a voice on. It wasn't the way they normally spoke. But it could be the same voice. It could be the same person, but they never spoke the same way. There was a callous arrogance and harshness sort of to the way the person was speaking. The unseen person beneath the manor spoke. When Palin spoke, they were more reserved and a little bit more and much more soft-spoken. It does seem very suspicious. You know, X, you both know something about sort of disguises and faking a different voice and such like that. So all of the elements are there for the person to be covering for the exact voice that you heard. The ways that Palin was speaking, which was a fake voice, is the exact kind of voice you would use if you were trying to hide your voice, if you sounded like the guy underneath the manor. Does that make sense? Blank expressions?
Makes sense, sir.
Okay, cool. So again, with a check, it's not going to give you confirmation in this situation, but it does confirm that it's definitely a fake voice. They're definitely hiding it, and they're using the total elements that you would use to hide your voice if you sounded like the guy under the manor. So it's not a smoking gun, but it might be the closest you're going to get. Now, do you all think that would change what you did with Palin, or do you think you'd still send him off to scout with the others?
Let's not retcon that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, it keeps
fine.
him out of our hair. It makes him have to do double duty and fake it. So it kind of makes it an awkward situation for him. So I'm cool with it.
Cool. Yeah.
Agreed.
And it makes
And
sense.
it could be a thing. It could be a thing that we just realized now. That
Yeah,
we're
you just have to
talking
come back and like break it down and talk about it and combine your skills and expertise and come to that conclusion. Okay. All right, so I'm curious. It's been talked about to, maybe kidnap the bard or take her out. What are Lokag's thoughts about that? About what to do with Baradwin?
I do not like all this cloak and dagger. Back in my village, if there was a grievance, we would air it publicly for all to hear, and for those to vote, to see what should be done. But, we are not in my village, I think. So, maybe I leave this up to you.
We also don't want to stir fear and trepidation amongst those here. I think that's
Millie,
the intention.
I don't like it when you use big words. But I
Scared.
understand. Oh, okay. Yes. So, I think maybe this is best plan. I am not happy about it, but I don't see the honor in it. But, perhaps I will. I came down to learn of your world, so... But I do not like her very much anymore. I liked her at first with the singing and the stories. She made me sound fantastic, but if she is our enemy, we must do something.
Yeah, definitely a sense that you would all get is the the townsfolk seem to very much like Baradwin. And she has integrated herself and made herself not indispensable necessarily, but she has done a lot to boost morale. And that certainly could be a blow to some of the townsfolk. And it would certainly create difficulty if you were maybe to bring that up for a vote with the rest of the townsfolk. So
Yeah, I
definitely
like
this
the
sense of-
idea of dropping a bag on her head when no one's looking and making her disappear.
I'm a fan of that. That's where I.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, does Helena have any other thoughts about the situation?
Well, I don't like the way that she makes up things about us and draws all kinds of attention to our efforts. You know, that could be a critical mistake, I think, revealing our ways and maybe even lying about them. I don't know. I don't trust her. And I don't like her face. I don't like how happy she is, frankly. So I think we should kidnap her. They're looking at me like those aren't good reasons. Awfully
I mean,
quiet.
happiness isn't really a great reason, but
I do not like her face is an awesome reason.
sure. But I agree, Lena. There's something strange about it.
Yes. See, that's what I mean when I say I don't like her face. It's not nonsense.
All right. Well,
Does she know who we are, even?
Exactly.
Sure, talk, but not that
Exactly.
much.
She's following us. She's got to be stalking us.
What if she's like made of magic? What if she, a god or something? It's made of magic.
Ew.
Did you drink that poison, Cliff?
No, you don't look at it. It's not safe.
There's a missing vial of poison.
No, he's already had enough to drink to get this way. He's also going on his mind is just running through all the fairy tales he's heard as a kid and stuff. So there's chupacabras and yetis, just it's all real now.
Interesting.
As much as I agree with us interrogating this individual, Bridget revealed to me that the relics, the artifacts of the other protectors, gods, whatever they may be, of Arabelle, are being corrupted, I suppose, by a dark ritual under the stone. Seems like it's been going on for a long time.
Have they succeeded?
What did you see? What artifacts? The hell are you talking about?
Looked like they had, I suppose, corrupted, changed the staff of Agma, and handed it off to a wizard of their clan, whilst then started on a sword of some nature. I'm not very versed. I look at X quickly and then back. Versed in the artifacts that were there. I've never seen them, never seen them besides the flame now. Seems like something we're going to need to deal with soon, though.
Some of you get maybe a shiver down your spine or sweaty palms when you think of, the goblin, hobgoblin, and bugbear hordes that you've dealt with. But now having a captain that has one of these powerful relics, and what it might be like to stand in battle against them, or what they might be able to do to the city with items of such power.
And there were other items, right? There are 3 more that haven't been corrupted as far as his vision is telling us.
You're not sure how many have been corrupted and how many are left.
Right.
She just saw one being finished and another being started.
Oh boy.
I only saw the 2. I don't know about the rest.
Oh, it's not right.
I only mention it because it seems like any time we spend here is, well, perhaps obviously time we don't spend there.
Yeah. Oh. We'll head out at dawn. I need some sleep. But we should probably put some dummies where we normally sleep, right? Play a little game with them when they try to kill us.
I can cast alarm on the room.
Ooh.
No, didn't know I could do that,
Uh-huh. Awesome.
All right, so as you all start talking about sleep, and, thoughts and conversation trails to the bard, who's downstairs. You were certain that whatever plan she had was thwarted. But again, that doesn't mean she doesn't have some other plan. So yeah, you all set yourself up, prepare yourself. But still, the thought of, if you plan to strike on Baraduin at some point and, black bag her head, when would you want to do that? Later on in the hours of the night, I think? Loquitur, is that what you said?
I'm thinking early morning, like 4 a.m.,
After rest.
You got to remember, like, the whole party's still at, like, somewhere between 1 and 20 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
we're still scuffed up from the prior day, so.
Totally.
So if it's like 10 o'clock, then we'd be up at 4.
It's not even. It's probably about 8 o'clock at this point. It's basically just gotten dark. It's been dark for about 40 minutes.
All right, we can start to get some rest in.
Yeah. You can easily be up before 4.
Yeah, or sooner if you want to.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other thoughts about that or want to do something different? Millie?
I think Millie will rest, but kind of getting up with everyone else.
Okay. Helena?
Other than checking in on her rats, I like the idea we had in chat. Curious if the rats can pick up on any scent on the bard, whether or not the bard is trustworthy. Animals have that other sense about them. And and then she'd clean herself up in her own way, and then go to bed.
You check in with your rat friends. The first thing that you notice is that Bubby has definitely gotten bigger. He's not to giant rat status yet, but he's larger than any rat you've ever seen in the city. The patches of fur that he was missing, some of them are starting to fill in. Everywhere except where he has been scarred, some of his fur is growing back. His fur has a luster, too. It almost looks like after you treat the fur before you sell it, where you'll sort of polish it up, maybe brush it with the right type of lard, but it's natural. None of the rats like the bard.
Oh.
They don't like Uten. They don't like Palin. They say they smell like goblins.
Oh.
They smell unnatural.
Well, Helena's definitely going to make sure whether people are asleep or not that they know about this.
Yeah, one rat says that they smell like bad meat. And even if they're dead, they wouldn't eat them.
Oh, wow, that's something.
Yet, hungry rat eat anything. But they will not eat the goblins from the stone. Or the bard, apparently. Or Palin. Or Uten. They seem to all have that smell, according to the rats. Some stronger than others. Apparently Palin and Baraduin, the bard, have that smell much more strongly than Uten or the normal goblins. You're not sure they've interacted with the I don't even know what you call them, the savage ones that you fought in the Tower of Ogma that had the teeth. You don't think that any of these rats have smelled those, at least not yet. But word does spread, and there are rats around who have been close enough, who have been in an area where those goblins are, that sort of domed area, the Undermarket, or what used to be the Undermarket, in the sewers. So, sending the word out through some of those rats, you can find out pretty soon from the rats who have smelled those. They'll have to come into town and compare, but, in a day or so, you should have more information on that. Less than a day, probably.
Absolutely. Put my fledglings, my children to good use.
The rat network.
Yes.
Zero rats.
You inform us. Do you inform us of this, Helena?
Helena, you're being asked a question.
Oh, I'm
Did you
sorry.
inform us of, nah, you're good. Do you inform us of the rats' responses?
Yes. I regardless if people are sleeping or not, I make sure to wake them up like it's the biggest thing ever. Because it kind of is. I mean, this is crazy stuff.
It really is. Yeah. With that knowledge, I think I only used one channel divinity within the stone because my channel divinity is kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
I used divine sense just to see if I'll kind of creep back downstairs. I just want to see if this person's actually living.
Okay.
Got a query and whether or not this plays out correctly.
Okay. Let's see here. I don't see any. I'm guessing they didn't change it through the new edition. I don't see any changes.
It's just a bonus action now.
Okay.
It might have always been. I don't know. I have one.
So I like to expand divine sense in my worlds because some things, like a fey being or an elemental, there's higher orders of almost every being. And so if it's a powerful enough fey or undead, then you would also get that sense. So it's a tough one. You sense a fiendish air about them. And also the influence of strong fey energies. Unseelie.
With the mix. All right, I'll head back up and inform my party of this.
Yeah.
While this is going on, I did want to have Clifford do a beast bond with one of the rats. So while they're out scouting for the next 10 minutes of the scouting, kind of while he's gonna be kind of look like he's drunk and checked out, like knocked out, but he's gonna spend 10 minutes as a rat, just being one of the rats.
Okay, so you don't tell anybody.
At this point, all this is happening while he's in rat mode.
Okay.
Just kind of checked out.
Okay.
He's got a spell he can burn, so I figured, well, I'll do that before I go to sleep.
Totally. All right, so getting an idea of where Helena, obviously, you're sending some rats to go rendezvous with some of the other rats in the sewer that may have been around these very potent goblins.
Right.
But where else might Helena be sending rats? Are you sending some to follow the troublesome foursome? Or yeah?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Sure.
We got to babysit a lot of these people. Obviously, they don't know what they're doing.
Okay. Anywhere else you might send some rats?
Um.
Any suggestions from the rest of the party?
Maybe the man. Well, we've already scouted out the manor, right?
True.
The manor would be, yeah. Those 4 are important.
Yeah, you had mentioned the manor. So you all definitely scouted that, but you could definitely send some rats as guard there. Helena, anything else?
See if they move in the night. Yeah.
Yeah, see what their activities are. Anything else Helena could think of? Anywhere else that she would want to send the rats?
I don't think she'd want to spread them too thin.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
There's so many rats.
Strength in numbers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at your father. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They're not like dogs. They can't like trace scents back or anything. So.
I mean, more like dogs than humans are. So they have some ability, but they're also very social.
Can they do that?
I just wonder if they can like, track the scent of the bard and company. See if they can find the source where they came from last.
Or ask the other rats. Maybe there's a network of like a whisper campaign of rats saying, "Hey, did you see those guys?" And they can all kind of.
So the bard has been with you all. Say again, Joe.
I was just saying, find the bad smell. Yeah, where does it emanate from? Where does it begin? I like that.
Okay. So then, over the next few hours, you would get little bits of information. These potent, some of the rats that have been up in the north, they have been around these more potent goblins that have been sort of infused with this Fey Stone energy. They smell just as bad as the Bard and Palin, suggesting they're in the same level of power, maybe more, but it's probably different power. The goblins up there were all pretty uniform, like they've been through the same process and had the same effect. The normal goblins of the stone also seem to have the same effect, but according to the lore, it's almost like chaos magic. When you imbibe one of these potions of she stone, it's going to make you more you and less you. So it doesn't tell you what powers these two have, Palin and the Bard. It just tells you that they've imbibed the same amount of Fey Stone, which is a lot. They're full of it. They're steeped in it. The second thing that you learn is it's hard to tell with the rats because they pay attention to different things. But now that you've checked in and you've like, okay, I need a group of you to just watch the manor now. Well, there's some already have been living in that area, so rats check in with rats. That information comes back to you, and Bubby checks back in and tells you that they're pretty sure that Palin came from that suspicious manor.
Yeah.
They don't know about Baraduin because she's been with you all since the stone fell. Whatever trail she personally had is probably well and gone. Goblins have marched over the city and obscured a lot of tracks. But Palin is almost certainly from that manor, which means you would also suspect Utin, but he's apparently not on the same level of power as Palin or the Bard.
Is there any chance that while Cliff is inside the rat, that he's able to hear the voice of Palin?
All right, so which group are you?
Yeah,
you're going to the north, the manor.
Mansion one. So it could be Bubby or one of his friends or someone in the stream could give the rat a name.
There you go. Okay.
Ratso.
So yeah, you know that as
Was he here?
Helena is checking in with her rats getting information. You all have some rats following Palin in them. So you're pretty sure that Palin is still with the other group. So you definitely don't hear his voice around the manor.
No, Palin, I'm sorry. He wants to hear Palin or see what they're doing. I meant to say that. I thought they were going to the manor. They're going to the docks.
They are, yeah. Okay, so you're following them then.
Then he would be with them. But only for 10 minutes. Hopefully that's enough time.
So at a certain point, you find that they have made their way to the manor, or to the docks.
To the docks.
Yeah. There's fires at the docks. There's a couple of buildings on fire. There's fighting is starting to happen again as the goblins wake up and rally themselves. It seems that the people are sleeping in shifts. They've got some good numbers, but the energy from everybody is that they're going to be overbalanced tonight or tomorrow night. They think they can hold out through tonight, but they think in the next 3 days they'll probably fall, because it seems that the stone is just constantly sending enemies there, as if this is an important spot for the stone to take, which makes sense. And you also hear Palin's real voice, and it is the same voice that you heard underneath the manor. It is the traitor that was speaking with Life Choker and the Goblin, one Thumb. It's the same voice.
Cliff experiences this whole thing like it's a dream. He doesn't really. He's like, yeah, I was in this rat there, but he won't mention it till the morning.
All right, I think we should need to. Okay, so maybe we'll take a short break here in just a moment, and come back to it. I'll put our break screen on, and yeah, I can either toss some music on if someone wants to stay and chat. You all are welcome to, but I definitely need a short break.
Yeah, I could use a minute.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Everybody loves music.
Oh, heck yeah. So we'll take this little break here, and then, yeah, we'll take this break, and it'll give us a moment to think about the information that we've got instead of having to immediately act on it. So yeah, Mythlanders, we will see you all in 10 minutes.
Shadow's cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. See you folks back in the square.
X once ruled in Kulain's hall. His light was brightest of them all. Fate's cruel knife in sudden strife severed his faith, ruined his life. Long he wandered, heart turned stone, in endless dark, his soul alone. Hollow days turned endless night, no way back to the light. He fell against the gale, abandoned, lost and pale. In blackness, terror stride, all he did was hide. He dwelled in black and void. His life's work was destroyed. With the final mournful wail, he crossed the shadow vale. Hold veil.
There's more for you to do, she said, and he was turned away. The frightful journey racked him, his skin turned ashen gray. She gave him ancient lore, miracle of widden root. He bound his soul with arcane tattoos, inked from head to foot.
Has he found purpose once again? Helping, healing, blessing, guiding, making others. Now he stands against the gale, guiding souls across the veil. Through mist and fear he strives, balancing the sides. Among the alleys, cold and bleak, I learned to stand up for the meek. Never one to start a fight, now called to breach its light. When that storm dropped on Arabelle, they had me headed for a cell. Bridget made her first demand to break my chains and make a stand. I'm champion of Bridget's might. I carry her flame shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night. I vow to make this right. Once an urchin, now I glow with the strength that will not fade. I don't know why she chose me, but I'm glad to be her blade. I won't forget my former life, filled with hunger, pain, and strife. For those abandoned and alone, I'll be your hearth and home. I'm champion of Bridget's might. I carry her flame shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night. I vow to make this right.
Thank you very much, Jar Jar. Yeah, I was just starting out with some of the suggestions and stuff being made throughout chat. Jar Jar's suggestion of the combining the glaive and the hammer together. Jay Finks' joke was that it was a glamour, which joke went over my head for a moment. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the reminder that we need a rat emoji, so I just wrote that down and made a reminder to myself. Yeah, Jojo also mentioned Hagsbane, reminded about the Hagsbane and that you all can grow it now. Oh, suggesting you all can take your potions to the alchemist to get them examined. I don't know if that probably got missed while we were playing. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, just kind of checking on some stuff I knew that I missed in chat. All right, according to OBS, you all should be able to hear us and everything now, so... Very strange, though. OBS is being kind of weird at the moment, so give me just a moment to see if I can... Okay.
I can hear you. You're coming through.
Okay, great. So, all back together now in your suite at the top floor of the inn. The bar just a floor below you. Helena has, a combination of her rats, her survival senses, and that burgeoning power that is growing within each of you. Helena combines these and is able to, sort of put a zone around you where if anything passes through it, you all will hear something in your minds. So what is the sound? What is the alarm sound that Helena's spell produces? What is the sound that's going to wake you all up?
Interesting. I have like this automatic assumption of what an alarm sound is, but it wouldn't be that. So, I want it to be something strange, but something that you might hear in the town square, something she may have heard regularly. What if it's like... Are there any big bells in town, like a clock tower?
Not a clock tower, yes, but the temple had several bell towers on it. Some would ring for ceremony, and some would ring the hours of the day.
Kind of want it to ring from like the clock tower, but it would sound like it's very close.
So you all hear the chiming of massive bells in your mind, or you would, if something were to wake you up. So, as you all, thoughts of bedding down for some of you, and some of you do. In fact, I'm sure...
Sleep under my bed.
Okay. What about Lokag? Oh, go ahead, Cliff. Sorry to cut you off.
That's it. I sleep under my bed with my pistol. That's it.
Okay. What about Lokag? I see you're understandably a bit distracted. I'll come back to you. Millie, how about you? How do you prepare for rest?
I think Millie is just in her bed. Or whatever we have here. Beds being relatively new to Millie. And
it's the nicest bed for certain you've ever slept in.
Indeed. Yeah, I think just in the bed. Probably not asleep quite yet, but drifting off.
It's strange. A little bubble of peace around the square for blocks and blocks and blocks. But beyond it, you can still hear that the city is under duress. You hear the chanting and roaring of goblins as they flood into some defensive area or overcome some defenses somewhere. You can also hear the intermittent shouts of the townsfolk, rallying themselves in those distant fights.
I think she drops off pretty quickly, given she was downed 2 or 3 times to within that combat alone.
Yeah. Okay. What about Helena? What is she? Any other preparation as she beds down, or how does she bed down? Maybe.
I think she takes a big old swig of some alcohol that was probably around, and I mean, she just sort of nests, piles a bunch of stuff together on the floor. She doesn't even. There's beds available. She just takes the coverings off them and puts it on the floor and gets herself all snuggled up in there. And she probably is in an inconvenient place where you probably trip over and stuff.
Yeah, if the beds are around the wall, she's maybe like in the center of the floor, or right in front of the door or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's her attempts to guard,
Yeah, I mean, there is a strategy to it. She's instinctual and she ain't got to explain nothing.
There's a method to that madness for sure. Okay. What about X? You mentioned wanting to climb out onto the roofs and find a perch. So the tallest the tallest building is the inn that you're on. It's the only 3-story building with an attic, also an attic space. So technically, kind of 4 stories, and you can get up on top of the roof of that and see for quite a distance.
Sounds good. And X meditates, so his sleeping is kind of like, cross-legged, and you don't really know that he's sleeping unless you look really close.
Okay. So, toward the morning, as you start to come out of your meditation, the night passes uneventfully. At least for you all inside. For you, X, outside, you meditate and just sort of letting all the sounds of the city, both the peace and the strife, sort of fall over you, maybe pass through you as you meditate. And as you're waking up, the sky, before it's even really lightening, but you can discern darker and darker shapes within the sky. The moon is already down. It's off the horizon, but some of its light is still hitting the clouds, giving you just enough light to recognize the silhouettes of some large creatures on top of the stone, seeming to be climbing out of the top of it. If they have a shape that's discernible, it is shapeless. They're just sort of almost roundish blobs that sort of billow, almost ooze out of the top, and then sort of like drift along. You get the feeling of like they're like giant slimes. You see just 3 of them. They're sort of moving slowly around the top. And just, as you're gathering yourself back together to go meet up with your mates and enact your plan on the bard, you notice that they're like sort of compressed down and almost trying to pop back up. And soon you see one of them bounce and lift free, hovering for a moment before it almost splats back down to the top of the stone. So it's like 3 large slimes trying to, like, jumping. And when one finally jumps, it takes several moments for it to land. And that just sort of continues. Doesn't seem to, if these strange slime creatures are trying to master a skill, they're far from it. And there's no other change this morning. And soon, your time's a wasting soon. You can't just sit and watch them all morning. So soon you all are back together. You have had a long rest. You can go ahead and calculate that on your sheets, however you need to do that.
Yay.
And this might be a good spot to decide, if you haven't decided, where you're putting your ability score. I'm sure it's pretty obvious for all of you. There's going to be wisdom, charisma, wisdom, strength, and either wisdom or dexterity for Clifford. Is anybody doing anything incredibly wild with their ability score bonus? Have you all drank the potion yet?
Spirit. No, wait, that's another game.
Clifton will drink it in the morning. He'll drink it right now as he wakes up. As a little, like coffee. He'll get a +1 dex.
Okay. So you probably come into the room, popping back in through the window, as people are starting to wake up, various states of grogginess, and Clifford just sort of rolls up, puts his feet right into his boots, and pulls out that potion, quaffs it. It tastes like, for a moment, it is overwhelming. It tastes like everything at once. But then as you sort of work it around in your mouth and swallow it, all of the other flavors start to fall away, and you're left with this flavor of like mint and pine. And then that pretty much fades pretty quickly too. But you can feel the change come over you, as if your nervous system's just been dialed up a little bit, like...
Nice.
Almost like time's moving a little bit more slowly.
Nice. He'll try drawing his pistol as quick as you can.
It's just a little bit smoother. Just a little bit smoother.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially, as an older fella, getting increased dexterity It's like, oh
Brain is
yeah,
buzzing.
oh yeah, there's some Fountain of Youth stuff happening over here.
I slowed down one bit. It's a goddamn lie. Ain't old. Just experienced.
So, Helena, as you're waking up and rolling over, and you spot Clifford down in this potion that the apothecaries gave you. Does she drink hers?
I think I'd like her to. It's one of the main abilities.
Yeah, for you, I would suggest like wisdom or dex. Your spells, wisdom for your spells and some other stuff, but mostly your spells, and dex for initiative AC to hit, dexterity saving throws, sneaking, all of that stuff. So
Seems like it'd be more advantageous to do Dex right now because it's a +3.
yeah,
Oh yeah. If you can even it out, that's pretty sweet.
Right.
yeah. If it's a 17,
Yeah.
you could take it to 18. That'd be ideal.
Oh yeah. Worth it.
Totally.
Oops, sorry, I keep clicking that because I thought I could change it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know this cheat at all yet.
Yeah. So we can. Well, since it it might come up, you all are going to go do something. I'll go ahead and pop it up real quick and help with that.
Thank
I
you.
hacked mine already.
Cool. So yeah, there's in the ability scores box left to right on the top right. There's a settings cog. I think that's where you're going to have to change it.
You just add one to your current bonus.
So yeah, you go down to your dex. You see it there. Other bonus. So change that to 2, and that should do it. There you go. Looks like, yeah, I see it now. 18 to your dexterity.
Beautiful.
All right. All right. So yeah, perhaps seeing Clifford drink his potion, being about to do something potentially dangerous now, going in and costing this altered bard with unknown abilities. The rest of you might follow suit. Helena pulls her out and drinks hers. Is anybody putting their ability score somewhere weird, or is everybody just sort of rounding out their main score? X, where are you putting yours?
Wisdom.
Good move. Lokag?
Institution.
Nice. How about Millie?
Millie's is going to go into charisma, but not upping anything at this point.
Okay. Setting you up for an ability score bonus. Maybe split it between, or take a half feat. Okay. So you're bringing your charisma up to 15.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So as you all drink your potions, yeah, Lokag, you're left with a feeling like a flavor of just like almost fattiness in your mouth, like the leftover of having just eaten some really rich, really hearty meat or stew. Those of you with, boosting your dexterity, that's that pine or mint sort of flavor. Millie, you're left with a sweet, almost cinnamon-like flavor in your mouth. And for X, you're left with the flavor of sage. And again, you all can feel these changes come over your senses, your body, your mind. Is there anything else that you all want to do to prepare? Sounds like the plan is still to go and accost the bard. So, X, is there any other what other prep might X make?
Nothing specific.
Okay. Clifford? How about Clifford?
Nothing dramatic. I think I'm going to look at my spells and maybe prep my spells, and I'll make some tweaks for the night.
Okay, cool. Let us-
Otherwise, he'll follow suit and help with sneaking up on the bard.
Okay. Just let us know what changes you make to your prepared spells.
Yeah, I'll do them on the sheet.
Cool. Helena, how about you?
Do I prepare spells as a ranger, or do I just have them? And I only
You can change them every day,
Yep, you can change them every day.
Okay.
like clerics, and then you were stuck with the same set.
Yeah, I think we added a bunch of stuff for you to have access to on your sheet, but they're not all spells you have prepared. Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I noticed about that is I feel like the summon rats. I can't remember what that one was called. I'm not seeing anything to do that there, but that's for later maybe. But yeah, I would probably prepare that.
Yeah, that is one of your special abilities, I believe.
Oh, because you're a ranger. You're a special kind of ranger.
Oh no, it's on your spells actually. Should be under your spells. Where? No, what the heck is that? Features and traits. Yeah, so the new layout for character sheets is, well, it's new to me. It's a lot more like D&D Beyond, but that's not. I haven't really had much experience with D&D Beyond, so. It's taking me a moment to find it. Oh, it's under Speak with Verminkin. It's all in that same text.
Okay, that's why I didn't find it, because to me that's like a separate.
Yeah. So
thing,
you never need Speak with Animals if you're trying to just speak with rats.
And that's, what did you say that's under?
It's in your combat abilities, to the kind of center block of the character sheet, and it's Speak with Verminkin. So there's a big text block of information there, and the bottom, it says as an action, you can spend a spell slot to summon a rodent horde.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
I feel much better about that now.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I suppose I'd probably prepare some good berries if anybody wants any.
Not a bad idea. You could have cast it last night if you had a slot left. And they
According
last.
to the sheet I did.
I'm sorry, Pompon, say again.
According to my sheet, I had spells available.
Yeah, okay, so you could have cast it last night.
And then you'd have it for 24 hours? Is that how that one lasts? Like that?
Well, then I'd probably just prepare different spells since we have the berries already.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
No, a good move. Yeah.
Do it.
And yeah, they last for 24 hours, that's right.
Cool.
All right, Lokak, any other preparation that you might make?
None mechanical, but I think Lokag's gonna find something to put over his head and cut little eye holes out of, but with the rat hat still on, so it's like just really misshapen. And he's like, this is how we do it. Yes, like, poking at the guys like, we are rogue. I am going rogue with you guys.
He's found like a navy blue pillowcase and put it over his head and poked some holes in it. Like, oh, that was the black bag we were going to use for the bard's head. Man.
Some sort of troll there.
Yeah, definitely misshapen, lumpy head underneath the blue pillowcase. All right, so any more thoughts about how you all are going to proceed? You know that the room that she's in is one room. It's pretty small. It's 15 by 15. It's going to be identical to many of the rooms on that floor. So as you go in, there's going to be a chest on the floor. On your right, on the left, there's a wardrobe. The bed's going to be on the right. On the left, there'll be like a vanity and like a washstand. And then opposite the door when you come in, there's going to be a window, 15 by 15. So who's going to be the first into the room, and who's going to be maybe outside the room or just inside? It's definitely, packing you all into a small room. So what do you all think? Is everybody going in, or a few people going to go in, or is just one person going to go in and do the deed?
So make sure they're there.
X, what do you
we
think?
don't even know. We don't even know if they're there, right? Maybe
True.
case the joint and make sure they're actually in the vicinity.
X will put Longstrider on Lokag.
Maybe try to peek in the window first and see if there's anyone. If we notice if there's anyone there. Or is it curtained?
Well, I mean, let's see here. Yeah, it is likely curtained. But someone still might be able to see something.
Try. I mean, I'm willing to try sneaking up there and trying to peek in there. And this is my job, people.
According to the rats, no one has entered or left the inn since about 2 a.m.
Well, how do y'all want to do it? I'm happy to go first.
Yeah, X, any thoughts?
I think we close off all the exits we know about and just go in. I think trying to scout and sneak and spy just gives us more opportunities to be noticed. So,
All right, you want to?
kind of like Cliff or somebody goes to the back door and waits, and we just send Lokag in through the front to do the grapple checks.
Okay.
Works for me.
So it sounds like someone needs to block the window. Who's going to block the window? That's one of the exits. There's only 2 ways into the room, window and door.
You could come in through the window.
You could do that. I could
I
perhaps
think
sense that she's
Helena-
still in there.
Helena could look really menacing in the window. Like a crazy thing you just do not want to cross.
All good ideas.
What if we just put Bubby right there?
I don't know if Bubby's quite big enough yet. Although that'd be awesome.
Well, I could back up Lokag on the crew, and you could be out by the window with the rest of the crew. Works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Helena, Millie, and X all have the ability to move silently and
Sneak around.
sneak around
Right.
and maybe climb with some help, X, you can try out those new gloves.
Based on prior climb checks, I would prefer to be behind Lokag.
Very fair, sir. Very fair.
Well, we don't have to climb into the window. I mean, we can let.
Someone's
jumping
got to
out.
climb to be out there. There's not like a balcony or anything.
We could be sniping the window in case they come out. They don't have to be standing right there. So,
That's true. You could be at a different building looking up at her window for sure.
yeah.
Okay. So you think that's what?
Certainly sounds like a job for you, Cliff, or Helena.
Yeah, I don't mind sniping. I can be up, around a corner in the dark, ready to, with my eye at the window, with the
Yeah.
pistol ready. or
Probably get up on
crossbow.
top of the Traveler's Outfitter or on top of Baba Brune's place,
Sure.
sight
Yeah,
the window up
I'm
above you.
used to hanging out up there. We
Yeah.
defend the town from the square from up there. So, yeah, you can find a spot.
Okay. What about Helena? Would you want to go with Clifford and back him up there, or did
We
Helena
seem to
some-
seem to have a thing going, back each other up. So I'm gonna keep that going.
Okay. Heck yeah. Interesting. It's neat how different characters pair off and buddy up for a few sessions here and there. It seems to be Clifford and Helena starting to buddy up a little bit. That's cool. Okay,
As
cool.
we go into it, I'm going to cast Bless on X and Lokag.
Okay.
And myself, since it's 3.
Okay. And the 3 of you all are going into the room. Is that correct? Or stand in the hall while Lokag goes into the room?
I'm gonna go in right behind Lokag.
Okay.
I'll be a hall flower.
Okay. All right.
Good one.
All right. So let's see here. Stealth checks from those who are moving stealthily. So I presume that's going to be, at the very least, X, or maybe not X, at the very least, Helena and Clifford.
Yeah, we're just hiding, so we'll roll for our
Yeah.
how good we hide.
Mhm.
Cool.
Very nice. 19 stealth check for Helena, 13 for Clifford, 17 for Helena. All right, it's 19 for X, 17 for Helena.
I'll burn my inspiration.
Okay.
Light, so she looks like a giant rat outside the window. Helena's just back there with like a candle, like reflecting the light, and Bubby's like, "Rrr."
Yeah, looking creepily up toward the bard's window. Candle
Nice.
underglow, you know, the candle underglow, so the light's coming up, ghost story
Nice.
style.
I went with Cliff.
Okay. So soon, Clifford, I'm assuming you all are moving down the hallway. You go out of your rooms, go back down the stairs, and make your way to Baraduin's door. Lokak's heavy boot falls, thudding and echoing. You all, you hear movement inside the room as you all come closer. Definitely, Baraduin has heard Lokag approaching. But the rest of you, yeah, you feel relatively confident that you're undetected at the moment. So, Lokag, you can also hear, presumably, Baraduin inside, the dwarven storyteller beginning to move, like as if the bed creaking, her feet hitting the floor. What does Lokag do?
Lokag is going to ask, well, okay. First things first, he's gonna, approach the door and ask X if he thinks there's any traps on it or because X is right behind him, right?
Yeah.
We landed on.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna ask X and see, like, hey, do you think this door is trapped or anyway? Can we just go in?
You got X and Millie with you.
Oh, excellent. I'll ask both of them. I've never
I'll
done
try
this
to
before.
investigate, see what I see.
Okay. Millie, do you offer to help, or do you do something else, readying an action or something?
I think I'm just observing, watching.
Okay. All right, X, let's see that check.
Maybe
21.
one for X.
Nice. 21. You do not think that it is trapped. At least, if it is, it's magical, because you are certain there's no physical trap on it. But the door is locked. You're certain of that.
Okay, I'll try to unlock it if Millie wants to help.
Millie, first, Millie, go ahead and make a perception check since you're just observing. And we're in exploration, so you can also choose to help. After you observe, you can choose to help Millie with that, or X if you want.
I'll help X, yeah.
Okay, X, and you can roll that thief tool or lockpicking sleight of hand, whichever you're choosing. However you built it out. Usually Roll20 has a thieves tool icon. So go ahead and make that check with advantage.
It's a 20 and another 20.
Nice. You definitely hear the floorboards creaking inside, Millie. If it is the bard moving, they're up, they're on their feet. And there's a tense readiness to the sounds.
I know we're coming.
Or at least they're not feeling safe or comfortable, as boots have stomped up to the door and no one has knocked. Might make anyone feel nervous. X, that is a success. You pick the lock. Quietly. It's dark inside, but it's dark outside. So, Helena, you can see, I mean, there's curtains, but you can see movement. And you can tell the figure is up and out of bed. And it's, a little bit blurry, but you can see them. If need be, you'd be able to make an attack on them. But through the haze of the curtain, well, yeah, no, it's not that hazy. So no disadvantage or anything. You'd be able to shoot them. But there's no light inside. So, Clifford, you don't have dark vision, but you do have that blind fighting. But you're not close enough for that to activate. But if they come out of, okay, that's right. So yeah, you can see the same thing. You can see a blurry figure behind the curtain.
No.
Someone having gotten
okay.
out of bed. The door is unlocked. How do you all proceed? Lokag is up front. You've just been warned that, Millie whispered they're ready for you.
Lokag's gonna silently mutter a prayer and go into a rage as quietly, just like a very quiet, focused rage. He's gonna rage with the rat, which replaces the wolf. So all of his companions will get advantage on their attacks of an enemy within 5 feet of me. And he's gonna very quietly ask X and Millie, should I knock first?
X will shake his head, no.
All right. Well, in that case,
So before you open the door, Millie, X, what are you all prepared to do when the door opens? Millie?
Yes, I've already blessed us all, so not really preparing anything, just ready to react if this person casts a mind-altering spell on our friend.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. X. What's X ready to do when the door opens?
He's just ready in action to shoot an arrow or crossbow bolt into the target.
Oh,
Soften
okay.
him up a little bit if needed.
Okay. So, you were fine with sticking a couple of crossbow bolts into him before you put a black bag on her head and whisk her away to some undisclosed location somewhere.
Blunted. We'll try to do non-lethal damage.
Right. Oh, man. Having been hit with a blunted arrow as a kid, it hurts. It hurts.
Going in with the beanbag rounds.
Totally. Okay. So, Okag, you throw the door open and begin to step in. The bard is crouched in the middle of the room. She has something in her hand. She breaks it. There's a small flash of red light. And she says in a rushed voice, "Stop them, friend. They're trying to hurt me." And Millie, what were you prepared to do? She's clearly trying to cast some sort of spell on Lokag.
So Lokag already has Bless, which gives him a plus 1d4 to saving throws. Can I determine? So it's definitely like charm spell.
Something like it. It may be more potent. You're not sure she's exactly casting it, or if she's like using an item, or like a scroll-like item to cast it.
If one spell and just ran away. There it is.
Usually when someone's casting a simple charm, it's something like, "Oh, friend, there's no reason to fight," and that sort of stuff. She's given a command to Lokag to stop, to fight you, basically. Like, stop them from hurting me.
I'll drop the Bless, but cast protection from evil and good on Lokag. He will not employ our friend's mind against us.
Oh.
Okay, let's see here. Drop that 2024 spell
That's in
in
there.
chat. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Pop open the
Creature
details.
target also can't be possessed by or gain the charmed or frightened condition.
Nice.
Yeah.
As this was a very potent form of charm. You're not even sure it's something she could cast. It came from an item. Right. We're just going to do this Theater of the Mind. So go ahead and highlight your tokens and roll initiative.
Oh.
Oof, that's bad. All right, I gotta use her I gotta play her inspiration. Full disclosure, I've already used my GM inspiration behind the scenes,
Oh.
and I'm using player inspiration to re-roll. What in the heck? That's 2 1s. Well, that's the story the dice are telling. All right, so Bradwin, it's not looking good for her.
We suppress the crap out of her.
That's right. Let's see. We got initiative for Clifford. Oh, it just didn't pop up on chat or in the initiative order. That
Yeah.
was 8, right? All
Yeah.
right.
Click my token and everything.
So, Helena, you hear the bard saying something in a loud, evocative voice, and you hear at the just a moment as it's happening, you hear another spell chanted by Millie. So something's going down in there. What does Helena do? Does she hold her shot until she gets more information? Does she attack through the curtains? What does she do?
I mean, can she pinpoint the sound pretty well through the curtain?
Like I said, you can see the shape of the woman through the curtains.
Okay. She's gonna go for it, man. Helena's quick. She's quick to pull the trigger.
Okay.
Yeah, she was gonna shoot her radiant crossbow of light.
All right.
Ho-ho!
What do we got? Let's see here. Ooh, is that a nat 20? Oh my goodness, a 27.
Wow.
Oh
Good
my
morning.
God. All right. So, let's see that damage.
There's two. There's damage and
Crit damage. Oh, crit damage for sure.
Okay. Check on it.
Nice.
All
And
right.
then as a bonus action, I would like to add Septic Strikes to that,
Okay.
which I think now is a D4.
Nice.
Roll.
let's
Moving
see.
a little slow for me. There we go.
the arrow, punches through, breaks through the glass. It punches through the curtain. You see the curtain billow as the arrow pierces a hole through it. You don't see what happens on the other side. But Lokag, who's stepping into the room, you're much taller than the dwarf already, and she's squatted down. You can see that the arrow is stuck in the back of her head. But the arrowhead's only gone in maybe a quarter of an inch into the skull. Very strange. What about X?
All right, what's my status? Was I hidden from her?
You were
Or
hidden
not?
from her. Yeah. You had that ready to action, so you could have, before you take your turn, you could make that attack with your ready to action as well.
Okay, so do I get both a turn and a ready to action, or?
Yeah, you get your
Just
ready to
that
action
action.
and your stealth on that attack. And then starting out your turn, stealth will have been broken because you made an attack.
I think this is right.
Oh my god. Is that another crit? 25?
That's a crit.
The dice have spoken. Wow.
Take-
Oh my
Take
goodness.
19 damage, nerd.
Right. So as you fire like right into her chest, the bolt does not sink as far as it should. You can tell you hurt her. Her face screws up in pain, but more anger than pain. Now, how do you? Let's see here. Oh, before we go back into the rounds. Now, Lokag, you had just stepped in. You still had the rest of your intent. So you had your ready to action as well. So what was your ready to action?
I had the garrote that we got from Life Choker ready. And I was going to attempt to get to her and grapple her with the garrote.
Okay. Then let's say for that ready to action, you were able to move in and sort of, get to her, step into the chamber and get into a position.
I'm good with that.
Because primarily you spent your opening the door and such like that. So you open the door, you move in, and you are ready. So cool. So top of the order then, X. Actually, top was
Really?
Helena. She
I don't think we're. Cliff didn't go and Millie didn't go. Oh, there we.
let's see here.
Should be Clifford after Lokag.
I think those were our ready actions.
Yeah, I was going through sort of ready actions from behind.
Oh,
So,
just the ready. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I guess I didn't be ready.
yeah, if you did have one, you could take a shot as well. Millie used hers to sort of counter the mind effect. Lokag, or X has made an attack, and Lokag has moved in. Helena has made her ready to action, so. Then that will be...
I'm good. I'm a little hungover,
Okay.
so I'm slow.
So that'll be moving into the top of the order then. Nope, I think I got a little mixed up because Helena, you didn't say anything about readying an action. We just came to you at the top of initiative. So, all right. So then next would be X.
Okay, I'm a rogue, so bonus action hide, so I can duck back around the corner real quick. I snap off a shot and then duck around the corner and then, hide again. So I can get me some advantage. Okay, here's a stealth roll. 14.
Okay.
So if that works, then I can get advantage and shoot another arrow. Again, trying to be non-lethal, shooting her in the leg or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The crossbow is hiding. Why is it hiding? It's hidden. Oh, there it is.
no.
Okay. 8 with advantage. Fancy. I'll use my inspiration and reroll that because
Okay.
that's nonsense.
That's a good idea.
No, sir, I didn't like it. How about a 22 to hit?
Okay. That is a hit. She looks over at you at the last moment. She spotted you, but that 21 is still going to hit. And you're still going to get sneak attack because, well, Lokag's right there.
Okay, 11 damage.
All right. I did miss a beat. Helena, you would have been able to sort of move if you wanted to, although I'm not sure, being outside, you could move if you want to reposition to be able to hide again, but it may not be the most advantageous thing.
No, I never thought to.
Okay. All right, so X move, attack. He moves and attempts again to hide, and places a crossbow bolt summoned from his tattooed arm. It flies forward, slams into the shoulder of the bard. You hear the sound of metal on stone as it hits. And again, the head of the arrow bolt only sinks in a half inch or so. Next in the order is Lokag.
All right. So, Lokag, having liked the bard, has wrapped some cloth around the garrote barbed wire, so as to not, hopefully not tear her throat out with it. He felt kind of bad about it. So,
he's so nice.
He was like, this is very dangerous. And so he goes in and tries to grapple with it, and so we'll go that route.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make that grapple check. Again, you have advantage with that athletics check. As you step over, try to wrap that groat around her neck.
Oof.
But she stands up. She throws her arm up, and go ahead.
I'm gonna use my player inspiration for that as well.
All right, excellent. That gives me an inspiration back.
Excellent.
And
not too much better. 16.
A 16. All right, let's see here. As she throws one of her arms up, slams it into your forearms, knocking both of your hands out of alignment. She is incredibly strong. You probably would never admit this out loud, but she's stronger than you.
Uh-oh. All right. Lokag's just gonna go, whoa! He's very surprised.
You still have your bonus action and any movement if you choose to use it.
I think he's gonna bonus action. He's just gonna keep his rage going, and he's gonna stay right there with her though. He's gonna try the grapple again next round.
Okay. What about Clifford?
Yeah, all right. If he could done something ready, he would have done a hunter's mark. I don't know if he could put that on him.
I would have allowed that for your ready to action. Sure.
Kind of a preparation deal.
Totally fine. Yeah.
So the hunter's mark will be on him, and he's got the crossbow, and he's prone, on the edge of the place, just honed in, waiting for that moment, and then he fires a crossbow bolt, and the crossbow, he strokes his finger along it, and it starts to bloom and grow as it shoots through the air, and I'm going to hit him with ensnaring strike.
Nice.
So we'll see what that does. I got to try to hit. And I have advantage because I'm snaky. I assume he does not see me coming.
Does not.
All right. And that is
14 on that save. Oh, if it hits.
Oh, on the save? Oh, yeah. Let me roll the attack. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
do
Let's deal with that first.
For some reason, I can't see it, so I'm just going to do the short sword. Same thing. When it be advantage, so I'll roll again. Oh, no, I made it. 17? Does that hit?
Well, there's 4 rolls there. The first one was a 7. That's a natural 1.
Oh, jeez.
The second
So
was
it'd
a
be
10.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. I'll do the inspiration to get the 17,
Okay.
if that hits.
Well,
hopefully.
you can use the inspiration, but let's go ahead and re-roll for that 17, or re-roll for
Okay,
it.
that
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
that sounds perfectly fair.
Okay.
All right, come on. No whammies.
Oh my
God
god! All
Oh,
right.
it's just no luck for me.
Let's see
All right,
here.
so he fires. Does a 5 make him shoot worse? I guess it just hits the ground.
Yeah, hits the sill of the window. You were not.
Yeah, I'd
blessed
like to
at
think
all.
it starts growing. Flowers and vines start to grow around the window, making it look almost like you're in Verona or something. It looks lovely. The flowers and the vines growing up makes the window dressing look really nice.
Nice. Double checking.
And then
I want to double check real quick. Actually, who is blessed at the moment?
No one's blessed.
Oh, that's right, Millie. You dropped it. Okay. Okay.
we dropped it
That's right.
for the protection.
All right.
Cliff goes, damn it. But one of the nice things about being Cliff is misses. He's got the special nifty little feat that he gets from being a gloom stalker.
That's right.
So there. He also has the dread ambusher, which doesn't do much today because he doesn't hit. That's it for him. He says drat.
A fire and a rare miss from Clifford.
Yeah.
Next in the order is Millie. Now, the dwarf has probably has a little bit of cover now because, he's moved, Lokag's moved up. But you all work well enough together, so you could position yourself and avoid that. Maybe stepping into the room. In the dark, you can see a pale red glow coming out from underneath the bard's clothes, especially from that left arm. So what does Millie do?
I'm just gonna turn the corner into the room. And just try and persuade this individual. Give up and come quietly. Or else my friend here will be much more upset with you.
All right, make a persuasion check.
Only a 10.
Okay, let's see here. You value life too much. Mine, it doesn't matter. I die here, I die elsewhere. The one eye will take me to him in death, and I'll have eternal life. But you're just going to die. And when you and your friends die, you'll just be dead. There's no point in me coming quietly. All of this happens really quick. A message.
This sounds very similar to the Life Taker Hobgoblin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. some entity or god, just referred to as the One-Eyed.
I don't think there's much we're going to get out of them, Lokak.
Anything else Millie might do? While
Go back
Baradamon's-
around the corner.
Okay. So
Blade is drawn, though.
as you step, you step just around the corner and you see the woman sort of come fully into standing and reach up to grab Lokag. Lokag, she's attempting to grapple you. She digs her thumbs and her hands into your ribs, or you can almost, even though you're wearing armor, she kind of grabs you and starts trying to pick you up. You can make an opposed athletics check.
$24 this time.
Excellent. That smell of spoiled milk and that pale red glow coming from underneath her sleeve both increase dramatically as she grabs you. This roll is going to be with advantage. What the heck is it? Oh, weird. It's not supposed to do that. That's confusing me. She picks Lokag up and begins to step toward the window. She's just lifted you almost straight up above her.
Dang.
She moves to the window, and most of that weight is on one arm. Like the other arm is just sort of steadying. It's her left arm that's picking you up to grab you. She moves forward toward the window and moves to throw you out of it. You can make a dexterity saving throw, see if you can grab the window sill or the ledge of it, or maybe grab onto her. See if you can keep yourself from being hurled outward.
You'd have advantage on those, right?
Yeah. Nope. 4. Rolled a 2.
She hurls you out the window. You hear glass and woods cracking and breaking behind you. And for a moment, you're sort of twisting in the air, but you see that angled slope of the roof kind of come up to meet you pretty quickly. You take 4 points of damage from sort of slamming into the roof and scraping along it, but the roof sort of levels out at a certain point, and you don't take any more falling damage. You're about 15 feet up from her window. And the figure that stands in the window doesn't really look like her anymore. Her face is contorted with rage. There's literal red light in her eyes, and her hand is glowing. And even from here, you can smell the strange scent coming from her. X and Clifford, it is almost overpowering, that scent of rotted or spoiled milk.
Gross.
She turns and that would have been her movement. She looks toward the door, but I think you all, both X and Millie, are around the door frame, so she can't see either of you. She's out of movement, and that's her action. Next in the order is Helena. You see sort of the curtain, that silhouette, get larger, and you see Lokak come crashing through the window, slamming down to the roof and sort of sliding down the slope. You see the dwarven woman's face contorted as she kind of turns back toward the others inside. How does Helena proceed?
I mean, can I smell her?
You could definitely smell the scent on the wind for sure.
And she's out of sight?
No, she's has some cover, but she's had some cover the whole time from where you are, just the edge of the windowsill. But you have a better view of her than you did before.
I mean, Helena's definitely on the pursuit, on the hunt, so I'd like to keep going after her the same way and just shoot another arrow. Of course, I got the septic strikes in there now, too. Find it. Here we go.
Let's see, that 14 is going to miss from where you're at. Almost, you hit the edge of the windowsill on the outside with that 14.
I could use my inspiration, because, you know, why not?
That's true. We're getting close to the end of the session.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going real slow.
That is all right. Yeah, it's the warp gate 2024. 24
Ooh.
is going to hit.
Nice. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, yeah, it's got the septic strikes in there.
Nice.
That shaft of radiant light blasts from your crossbow. Hits the woman in the chest. There's not even a blink of pain as it hits her. You still have your bonus action and your movement. Septic strikes?
The septic strike was calculated into it.
Ah, okay. Excellent.
I suppose, no harm in getting in, I think maybe I don't know. I'm having a hard time imagining the scene exactly. I wouldn't want to...
So you're on one roof nearby, looking across to a window
Okay.
on the next wall.
Okay, that makes... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of alley between you.
There's no real, like, moving to see better or anything, is there?
Not really, unless you're going to get... If you climbing higher on the peak of the roof or getting into the room,
I think it's probably smarter to stay in position.
Okay.
Still.
All right, next in the order is X. You hear, probably, but don't see Locat go crashing through the window. So how does X proceed?
This turn, same as before. We're just gonna try to get some stealth, sneak around the corner, peek in like real low. I'm gonna like get close to the ground and peek around the door so she can't see me, and shoot another crossbow bolt. That's kind of like my thing.
Yeah.
So let's do the stealth check, see how stealthy we're being. Not so much. 10.
Okay.
I assume that doesn't give me advantage in this case then.
Well, I usually don't do it that way. You just go ahead and roll with advantage, assuming that you have a stealth check, and I'll base it on their passive perception.
Alright.
Yeah. So I'll let you know after the roll, not before.
Sure, why not? Let's see. 22 and a 20.
Definitely gonna hit.
And then 14 on the damages.
All right. Again, that sense that bolt did not penetrate as deeply as it should. But that smell within the room is becoming overpowering. And you get the sense that if you're within 5 feet of her, it's going to sicken you, sort of giving you the poison condition. Anything else for X?
That is all.
All right, slipping back over to next in the order is Lokag. Like I said, you're down on the sloped roof. About 15 feet up is the window.
All right. Lokag's going to look up from his slide as he's sliding down the roof, and he's just got this huge grin on his face, and he just he just goes, "Now that is my kind of woman," and he starts running back to. He gets up. So he's gonna. I'm assuming he's prone, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
you're prone, but you're laying like this at an angle. You know.
Okay.
So
So if I guess I want to say I want to start running. I just don't know if I have to use movement to get up and start running.
no, we'll say effectively for
Okay.
movement, you're not prone at the moment.
Okay. So he's gonna start like hands and feet like paddling up the roof to the window,
It's an easy climb.
and he's gonna do what?
It's an easy climb. Yeah.
And gonna go hurling back through the window, and he's going to I guess at this point we've already talked about she's probably not coming quietly. We're probably not getting much out of her. So she's pretty strong. So he's going to
Let me
out.
clarify something. Lokag could sense that she had to spend some of her power to gain advantage on the roll. That's not something she can do all the
Okay.
time, where you can. So yeah, she's strong, but you'd still have a chance there.
I think then, just because it makes sense. I'm gonna have Lokag run into the room and try and grapple her. We're gonna start with a tackle. We're working on a grapple, and I'm working on trying to bring us to the floor.
Okay. So yeah, first you're trying to take the person down. I think that's an athletics check, and then
All right.
to try to grapple them would be an athletics check.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go, boom. 18 for I guess taking them down. And if I need to do this on multiple turns, it's fine. If that's the way it works.
Okay.
I think you got one in there.
I do. I'm going to re-roll that with
All right.
the inspiration that I have. But still
Yes.
an 11. So yeah, she hits the floor, and you're right on top of your opponent.
So, am I able to attempt to grapple this turn, or is that like a wait till next turn to see what happens?
Well, yeah. So I mean, you could spend your athletics check either way, but that would be one of your attacks, and you only have one attack, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to instead grapple her, you can do that too. It's up to you.
I think I'm gonna call it a grapple first, so that we remain standing, to give the people outside more of a chance there.
Okay.
So and then the goal is going to be next turn we're going to try and pull it into a full like wrestling lock. So and bring it to the floor.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, you've got her grappled. Her movement is 0. Look, I give your bonus action.
Bonus action. Nothing really. I guess I'll just keep. I didn't technically do damage, so. Oh, but I took damage. So
You did, yeah. I think a grapple is an attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Then I don't really have any bonus actions, so I'm good.
Okay, cool.
A grappled is an unarmed strike.
Yeah, it's an attack.
Okay.
All right, so next in the order then is Millie.
Is it? No, you skipped Cliff.
Oh, I did skip Clifford. Sorry about that. Outside.
That's okay. Is Lokag between me and or on the other side? Is it kind of holding?
Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, he would be between you. Yeah, because it was all of his movement to get up climb up the wall and get into the room.
Gotcha. And then the grapple, I guess, in the grapple you can kind of face her, but all right. So I'm going to ready an action. I'm like, damn it, Lokag!
Yeah, that's true. Lokag, you did mention keeping her standing to make sure that everyone had targets. So do you Would you reposition yourself?
He could still be in the way. I could see how he's still in the way. I can ready my action, which is fine. So I'm just going to ready for the moment that
Okay.
like Lokag like turns her towards me so I can shoot. So Clifford's going to use his action to ready, puts an arrow in another bolt in the crossbow and lines it up and waits.
Okay.
Oh, did I get a crit? Jesus.
Yes, you did.
I rolled that earlier.
Ow!
Nice. Yeah, well, look at because you did say you're keeping her standing, so everyone's got a target. You might be trying to muscle her around. What do you think
Angle
about
her?
that?
Yeah,
Okay,
and I've got 45 feet of movement. If that makes a difference of being able to turn her.
it does for sure.
That's true. And your bonus action too. So.
Okay, so yeah, Clifford, you can make that attack now. In which case, that's a critical hit.
Oh,
that-
thank you. Oh, that's great. Okay. I'll do the. Where's the damage? Where's the damage part?
It looks like it popped up already. 20.
20 damage. Oh, that's the damage. I thought that was the attack hit. Damn, 20.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna add. There's D. Did it get the D6 for the?
It's not on
think it
there, so
did.
no, you need to roll that yourself.
For the Hunter's Mark. The other thing he has is Dread Ambusher 2d6 of force damage, which he will use one of those right now, just to make sure.
Yeah, does that work differently in 2024?
In 2024, I'm looking at it now.
Pop it up real quick, yeah.
Yeah, it's the spell.
'Cause it used to just be at the beginning of combat. The first.
Yeah, it changed. Yeah, it changed. I thought at the beginning of combat you have the. Hold on.
Okay, but you can
sorry.
use the Dreadful Strike a number of times equal to your Wisdom mod. Cool. All
Right, which
great.
is 2. Yeah,
So let's
exactly.
drop
that's another
that down
2d6.
then. Beautiful.
Yeah. I was trying to find the thing for it, but I'll just roll it. 1d6, 2d6. 2d6 of force, so 7 damage of force.
Okay,
So 28
nice.
damage total with that shot. That's it. That's the ticket.
Nice, and that's force.
And he'll hit the shoulder, so it's not the hard shoulder, but the soft shoulder.
All right.
That's funny. The soft shoulder.
Like when you're driving and, you got to work parallel, but anyway.
Okay. So as this hits her the first time, an attack has hit her while someone's again. Nope. No. Okay. That's sorry, I'm rereading one of my notes. Okay, cool. So Cliff, good shot from Cliff. Next in the order is Millie.
Finally.
All right, blade drawn. I'll enter the room and summon the flame of Bridget as I swing to strike her.
Okay.
Oh, I did forget something, but
And-
we can do it after.
Okay. So yeah, as Millie steps in, the flame of Bridget gleaming on her blade. Bradwin's eyes
Should be at
avert. They look
advantage,
away
right?
from the sword. Does grappled give advantage, or was that?
And he's raging with the rage of the rat, so everybody has advantage.
Oh,
while
that's
he's within
right.
5 feet.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
go. Nice.
That's it. So definitely 21 is definitely going to hit.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
I'm going to burn my last spell slot for the day.
Okay.
Use a divine smite in with that as well.
Okay.
So
Oof. All right.
that includes one of the D8, but I need another 2d8.
Oof.
30 damage.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. All right. So as this sickening stink is in the air, sort of swirling about you, this red glow from her hand, growing brighter and stronger. She turns away at the last moment as you raise the shining blade with Bridget's flame within it. unwilling to look at it. You feel free to describe or pass as you dispatch the storyteller.
The blade glows brightly as both the flame and then the radiance really expand from it. And like Lokag has her grappled, so it's more of a stab, but just like the first quarter of the blade, enough to not harm Lokag. Just kind of right in the heart area. Millie not being a fighter, stabs in, and just, whatever you are have become, you may now rest from this evil.
There is a cold, dry wind that billows up from her as she falls, just for a brief moment, as if something fleeing her body, moving out into the ether.
Ooh.
As Baraduin falls, you can now hear what was just outside in the corridor, a shuddering, gasping sound. Turn it and you see Master Dalen. He's the owner of the inn and also the traveler outfitter, or is taken over, seems to be sort of managing the inn since everything happened. What have you done? You've murdered our storyteller! Murder! Shouts the innkeep.
Master Dalen, this is
I think this might be a good
not
spot.
a mere storyteller.
He looks a question at you. Clearly, caught between what you all have done and what he's seen. In his mind, this storyteller is innocent. You can hear some other people having heard this call, some people waking up in the inn, and those of you who are outside. Of course, Helena and Clifford can hear that alarm has woken some other folks. They're all...
Hey, we don't know those people,
Yeah.
right, Helen?
Warf-
Helen? We don't know them. We got nothing to do with those people. They're half cocked. We were just hanging out here having a smoke.
Yeah, never in my life.
The wharf rats on guard on the rooftops are particularly alert, and one of them is sort of moving toward... Seems to be, anyway, moving toward the inn. But I think... Let's see here. How does... just quickly getting everyone's reactions. How does Helena react to this?
Well, she's not entirely surprised. She's used for getting blamed for lies or misunderstandings. So she's ready to fight her way out of it if necessary.
Okay. How does X, who's inside near all of this, how does he respond to this? Or react, or what are his thoughts?
X is an elf of faith, and he has the moral high ground. Creatures that have a harder skin that when your arrow gets blunted by the target's skin, that's not natural. So X has no fear that we're in any kind of trouble, because once we reveal what this creature really was, it's all going to be fine. So X is just chilling.
Okay. Millie, yeah, your reactions, obviously at least in part to intervene and try to speak to Dalen. But how is she reacting to this? What might her sort of body language or facial expression be telling us?
I think if Dalen is enough with himself to comprehend things, he sees sorrow upon her face.
Indeed. Let's see here. Checked in with Clifford. How Clifford's reacting to this?
I think he wants to focus on following the essence that left their body. I think.
Yeah, you saw the wind ruffle the curtains.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any way if he could move quickly to follow it. The blind sense would only work if he was like 10 feet away, but maybe there's a chance that he could slip out and find out where it goes.
Yeah, you can easily leap over to the other roof and scramble up the roof after it.
Yeah, I'm going to try
Okay.
to follow it, and I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm not running away, I promise.
And then he'll leave Helena and go kind of stalk this thing.
Okay. Well, last but certainly not least, how does Lokak react to all this outcome?
Lokag has fallen to his knees, cradling the body of Bardwin and going, no! Because he, in that fight, fell in love, and now she is dead.
Oh,
And
he's the sweetest one of us all.
so, and he closes her eyes and he goes, your records are gonna hit platinum now.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh man, I feel like this might be a good spot to pause the story, the forward action, and check in for a moment. Heck yeah, I'm definitely excited. This has been nice. Just some downtime, some checking in, some planning, seeing some things develop, having some good time with, the rat swarm and what all they can do with you now that Helene has sort of grown in her talents and all of you have, all of your skills. A little bit of a fight, a strange fight, with someone who you thought was your ally this whole time until very recently. So yeah, fun for me as a GM to run it, and it was just fun to see how you all handled this. My only real nervous part was anytime I'll homebrew something, I'm like, this is powerful. I have a little bit of is my party gonna be like, what the fuck is this? What is this? How could you do this to us? Pardon my French, everybody. I don't curse a lot, but occasionally it's the right word. Is that cuss word? But so I'm like, oh, she can get advantage on these grapples, and she's got a +7. Is my party gonna mutiny and kick me out of the table if I bring this to the table? So I was a little bit nervous about that.
C'est magnifique.
Oh yeah.
Miserable.
Lokag loved it.
Lokag clearly loved it. The one I was worried about the most was Bry. You seem to react to it really well. So heck yeah. Heck yeah. But how about y'all? Thoughts on the session? Notes going forward. Thanks for an awesome session. That's the last thing I'm going to say. Helene, Pon, how about you? Any thoughts on the night? Thing you're excited about? Any cool moments from the session that really stuck out for you?
Well, I just know that behind the scenes, I've been working on a armor illustration for Bubby. I intend to get Bubby crafted armor that's better than what Helena could make, because she thinks that's kind of a little twisted even by her standards, because she makes it out of rat pelt. So
yeah, you're not gonna do that to Bubby.
No. So I'd have to say that's probably take care of this problem, I think, which has been a nice. Helena's been blowing off some steam with this current task.
Oh yeah.
I think she finds this one very fun. She really didn't like that bard in their songs.
Too familiar by half.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's like everybody loves the song Santa sees you when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake. I'm like, that's scary.
I don't like this feeling.
If you don't perform the way he expects, I'm just saying it's the same level.
Stalker clause.
Yeah, I mean, it could be considered setting you up for failure, or to set you up to curtail some of your actions. Now you're locked into these traditionally heroic attitudes and mindsets, which may not be what's going to help you survive. I could totally see that. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I mean, Helena don't like nobody telling her who she's supposed to be or what she is.
Yeah, even if it is good, supposedly, right?
Or right, doesn't matter.
Fair. A little rebellious kid in me totally agrees with that. Any other thoughts for you, Helena or Pon?
No, it's a fun session. Other than that, I liked the scenario, imagining the distance that all these things were happening concurrently. I thought that was a really neat setup.
Cool. Yeah, it felt like a simple enough scenario for Theater of the Mind to be a little bit more actionable. So cool. I'm glad for that feedback. Cool. Well, slipping over to Clifford, to Nick. Any thoughts for you on the session?
Yeah, it was a really very well balanced session, like you were saying, in terms of,
we got a little fight, we got a little prep, we got a little, just carousing. We got it all. It was nice. I feel like we packed a lot in there. And, Cliff is going to keep running through his head. How did I miss? God damn it. How did I miss?
Yeah.
So he's going to be beating himself up for it. But he did hit him again later. So he's, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued, like, what forces are at work here that are corrupting these people, and even corrupting the old magics to turn them into this distorted evil that we're seeing here. So he's very intrigued by that.
Yeah.
And I had a great time. This was fun. Good sesh.
Heck yeah. Locator, how about you? Any thoughts on the session? Anything stand out?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. Nice balance.
Anything ahead you're really looking forward to or excited about?
Yeah, I think for me, the kind of the hint that the artifacts are a pressing issue. There's like 7 different plot lines that we could go after, but I think stopping them from perverting the artifacts might be on the menu as something that we're doing next. So if that's the next excursion into the stone, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if we can free up those artifacts.
Yeah. If I had to, as the DM, break it down to what I sort of think, like the manor is maybe like a supporting, like it's not important. It's not exactly a side quest, it's important, but it's like a secondary, where just from a logistics standpoint, how many more hobgoblin, bugbear sort of bosses and companies do you want to deal with that have one of these relics? And X, that, on your list of orders is taking out all these different leaders for the matcha. And that'll definitely make things harder, and then, plus if you're going to make use of these relics, it'll likely, have to go back through some sort of process. So yeah, interesting.
Also, a good question from Jar Jar. Was this one of the bosses? I think it's not, but it
is
wasn't
not
one of the. Yeah, okay.
It is not. But it is just one of the numbers to balance the scale, for sure. She counts among that number, but it's not one of the main ones. Well, Millie, how about you? Anything stand out for you this session? Any thoughts, questions, things you're excited about?
I thought it was a good question or a good session. I am intrigued, I guess, by the presence of this entity and who's kind of orchestrating it, I guess. And kind of what it's doing or what it does, because it seems like it was within this hobgoblin person at one point, but didn't really follow any item or personal product of theirs. So it's very confusing. I think from Millie's standpoint, it's like there's got to be a different way to do this, but she doesn't know it. To save these people, to stop them from being whatever this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perhaps, continuing to stay connected to Bridget and pray to her and follow that path that's revealing itself before you will unlock some knowledge or abilities there.
Yep, so that's interesting, and curious how it all relates, given Palin and the other guy seem to be both also infected.
Yeah, it seems like going to the manor is going to answer some really interesting questions whenever you all do that. But then perhaps, being able to find a denizen of the Goblin Stone that you can talk to might also reveal some more information. You do have an ally in there somewhere. So who knows, hopefully you'll be able to find them soon and get some more information that way. But That manor's pretty interesting, and given that Baradwin was in the square on the day of the attack, before the stone fell, before the goblins came out, Baradwin was there and has not left the square. So this happened to her before the stone fell. This manor has been active since before the stone fell. That much you can all piece together by what you know. So there's been some sect of people who have been aligned with maybe the same deity that these goblins are worshipping. That some of them are maybe getting almost partially possessed by some part of this power or entity's energies. But yeah, a mystery that is revealing itself as you all go through the campaign and stuff. So heck yeah. Well, gang, have a good week. My Mythlanders players and friends out there watching in Twitch and in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all get some good rest tonight. Take good care of yourselves. Hit me up if y'all need anything. I want to point out, Jar Jar had jumped in our Discord chat and had mentioned a couple of suggestions, so I'll add everybody in there pretty soon. And notes for myself, rat emoji. Main note for the session for myself. Heck yeah. Let's see here. And yeah, Jar Jar's got some suggestions up there. Maybe the people in the manor caused the stone to fall. Make sure to search her body. But we'll get into all that next session. Session 28 of the Goblin Stone. Well, thank you so much, Mythlanders. Be good to yourselves. Hit me up if you have any questions. And we'll see you all next week. Say good night, Mythlanders.
Good night, Mythlanders.
I'm master of the ring, it's no big thing. With my weapon I swing, pain that I bring would make the bard sing. Some called me the king, but you don't have to call me that. It was the name the fans had for me, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I don't tell any lies, I'm massive in size. I think it's quite wise when my hammer flies. The naughty goblin dies, the pretty lady cries, but I can compromise. Because I'm really cool and like to do my thing. You know, you can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I can dance a jig, I can laugh real big, I can snap you like twig, put you in the brig. I don't wear a wig, I do eat like a pig, though please not that fig. I'm really not a fan of those day-type fruits, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I lead the group, cause I'm the poop. If you want the scoop, I'll keep you in the loop. Be part of my troop, then I'll give you really big hugs and stuff, because I do that with people I like, you know? You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer.
Some love law, but me, I'm
coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. My leg is stiff again today. This coffee's a bit cold for my liking. People what live in comfortable homes with pretty gardens, they just never get to see much of the world. Me, I go everywhere, get hired to run down scum for money, but also 'cause I don't like 'em much. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I don't usually have a posse. Group I'm with now, though, ain't so bad. There's even times when they don't shoot first. Well, better than most, I suppose. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I never signed up for this big rock full of goblins falling from the sky. Well, if someone has to step up and protect these folks, might as well be me. They probably can't afford to pay me what I'm worth, but hey, life's an adventure. I really need to remake this coffee. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. See you folks back in the square.